Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Dad Jeans. Dad Jeans.
It seemed like a really good time. They had the World Series on. The World Series, which features none other than the Chicago Cubs.
I know. I understand the Cubs are making quite a big. There's quite a big stink about the Cubs this year.
Well, Jeffrey, do you know when the last time the Cubs won the World Series?
Was it 0 ever?
Let's just say this.
Yeah.
The Ottoman Empire still existed.
Right.
And so therefore, and that's totally true.
I mean, they haven't been near the World Series for
Not since 1945.
1945.
And the last time they
go.
won was 1908.
Wow.
108 years. Wait a second. Did you just hear some sort of lynx or leopard outside your
Wow. He's really impressed with the
He
with
loves the
shenanigans
Chicago Cubs.
happening here. Amazing.
So it is very exciting for Cubs fans everywhere.
That's an oldie but goodie, the story of why
It is. That's a deep Dad Jeans cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have to start having Dad Jeans trivia night.
Oh, right. Of just things we've mentioned.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Tell me about the Cubbies. Are you a baseball fan? Were you ever?
Yes, I'm a fan of the Boston Red Sox. The Cubs being in the
Right.
National League, I know zip about them or the sport they play.
Got it. You're all AL all the way?
Yeah, AL, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are the NL. I can tell you this. They're up against the Cleveland Indians, which are...
The Cleveland Steamers.
Yeah, the colonial team.
Yeah.
And they are putting some disgusting junk on the ball.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, some ungodly shit that's falling off the end of the table. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of.
It's really nasty.
They take whatever's left after dinner and just slop it up and stick it on the ball.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what they're doing?
Yes, they do. And then the ball does some crazy
They
shit.
pitch it right down the middle and it somehow ends up in the fucking, I don't know.
Just off the black.
In the boondocks. Just
Yeah.
off the black. That's
Yeah.
what they say?
I don't know. It might be what they say.
I love things like I love like weird, obscure turns of sports phrases.
Oh, me too.
Like I guess it's not that obscure, but like put some English on it. Like, that's such a cool phrase.
I love that. 1 o'clock,
does that
half
mean?
struck.
I don't know that.
That's not a sports phrase, but it is a phrase.
Well, I like phrases of all kinds.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the phrase.
Good evening, everybody. This
Good
is Dad
evening.
Jeans.
Welcome to Dad Jeans.
Welcome to Dad Jeans.
I'm Brendan Hughes.
And you are Brendan Hughes.
And you are Brendan Hughes.
There's a little bit of we're both Brendan Hughes tonight. There's a little bit of a melancholy pallor over this evening.
There is. Why? Tell us, Jeffrey. Why
I'm
is
not
that?
going to tell them. It's your job to tell them.
Oh, that. Oh, there's much to discuss. Yes.
Are we talking about that?
We can now finally talk about it.
Okay, well,
We have to talk about it in stages, though. This is going to be a Norplant time-released bit of news.
Okay, and let's leave people in suspense, because you know what we did last week?
You mean just like Donald Trump will, the nation?
About the nation, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like now, a week after I'm starting to feel good, Brendan. I'm feeling like not just that he will lose, but just that America is finally like, his show is just tanking in the ratings. Like
It's true.
It's not that he's.
It's true.
It's just that people are like, well, that's not exciting anymore. He's not giving us anything more. Like, this is the end of. It's just not it's not interesting, and I feel like all of my fears about him like starting a revolution. Now you're kind of just like, no, he's just kind of like a fucking loser, and America is coming to that realization, and we're just all gonna like be done with him, and then it'll be over.
That's exactly. Yeah, I totally
Right?
agree. And I was as guilty as anybody of watching the Trump show. Although I held
sure.
out for a long time.
It was fascinating.
It was fascinating. I held out forever, thinking like the man's not a serious person, as I've been quoted on these very airwaves saying.
Yeah.
And so why bother even paying attention to him?
Right.
He's just a fool. And he remains a fool, and there's nothing new about what an idiot he is. And there are plenty of Americans just like him.
Sure.
And it's not unlike that party to toss out some asshole and be like, what about this for president?
Sure.
That's what they do. But I started to, when that tape came around,
Yes.
I started to check every 45 minutes, 5:38
Yes.
and Huffington Post,
Oh, yes.
waiting desperately for the next
Oh, yes.
scandal. But actually, plenty of scandals, this is a crazy thing, plenty of scandals have dropped since, yet none of them compare to that tape, and so therefore, because they're all that tape.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, exactly. It's just not interesting to us anymore. We've reached maximum density, peak Trump.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it does feel very much to me like like American Idol, when people are just like, we've seen American Idol, we're done with it.
Yeah, it's what pimply, curly-haired weirdo is gonna like wow America with their dulcet tones,
and no one hates it. We just don't care.
We just don't get right.
That's the beautiful thing. Like
it's not the prow of the ship is not breaking any more ice. It's broken through to ocean.
Yeah, there you go. And
it's just ocean now.
We're just sailing. We're just sailing past him.
We're just sailing.
And he's
I know.
just standing back there, holding his dollar bills in his hand, like red-faced and hopping up and down. Come back here! Come back here! Come pay attention to me!
Billionaires' lives matter! Did you see the New York Times spread of all of his insults on Twitter?
I did not know.
It's been floating around.
I saw it linked to, but I didn't look at it.
So, and I sort of was aware of its presence in the ethosphere for a long time, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, and that might be kind of interesting. But then someone actually, a coworker, sent it to me as a link, and I was like, fuck it, and I clicked the link,
right,
and it's none of it's surprising,
yeah.
And you look at it and you're like, oh wow, it's very interestingly laid out. It's by victim, kind of, and that kind of.
Oh wow.
But then. So at first you're like, wow, geez, yeah, he just threw a lot of insults, and then you start scrolling down,
okay,
and you realize, oh my God, all this man does is insult other people on Twitter.
Is it from like what date does the?
Oh, I'm not that part. I'm not sure.
Timeline start.
I'm sure it's a couple of years ago or something.
Oh, so it's long before the campaign. I
believe, or maybe it starts right with the campaign.
Okay,
but what it is a portrait of is a deeply sour man. He has so much hate in his heart.
Oh, this poor guy.
And I know it makes you feel bad for him, because he's just John Lithgow and Buckaroo Banzai, just like twiddling his fingers and writing in crayon on the wall.
Right. And
except he's rich, so he's going to run for president.
And the thing is, this is his. I mean, I've made this prediction before. I think it's going to. I believe it's going to come through. Everyone screenshot this episode of Dad Jeans that he's going to replace OJ as our ultimate rise and fall story.
Oh yeah,
and it will just be like I predict prison within a few years.
Certainly,
because I think he's gotten a taste of this need for attention, and now he's just going to spiral out.
And guess what? It dries up instantly on November 9th.
It will. I think
he might be dead by November 16th.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't put it past it. I don't think that's a bad prediction.
He's going to lose his fucking mind.
I think, and I don't think it will be of him killing himself. I think he'll have a heart attack, because I'm amazed that he hasn't already.
Oh, and on his all In-N-Out burger diet?
Disgusting as he is.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way that he insults these other, like, the man's let himself go. Let's be honest. I don't want to speak ill of another person's body, but
he's not working too hard to maintain that physique.
And at a certain point, when you've let yourself go that far as he has with the fast food,
yes,
and if you're a man, your fupa eventually engulfs your penis.
Oh, your fat upper pussy area.
Yeah.
We can say that word now, pussy.
Now
that's Donald Trump's. Actually, that's his single contribution.
Is pussy is now in the lexicon.
Now we can say pussy.
It's word of the year in the OED.
Is it really?
It will be, I'm sure. And so his fat upper pussy area has probably at this point engulfed his probably shortish penis,
right,
to the point where if he gets out of a pool,
yep,
it just looks like he has an innie belly button and then a couple inches lower an outie belly button.
Oh, this guy.
And just dig, if you will, the image.
I don't.
Outie.
I saw the statues.
Maybe you know what? Maybe he has two innies.
Yeah. I don't want. He's like Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, exactly. He probably gets on his Trump plane, takes off all his clothes, and makes everyone watch as he dances and goes, "I'd fuck me."
Okay, so here's a couple of things that we have to do right off the bat, Brendan.
Mm-hmm.
Play Mark Smith's phone call.
Oh, yes, we do.
Because we have been promising this.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, we fucking said we were going to do it, and we didn't do it.
Are we in the front matter?
We are in the front matter.
Could we call it the Audi matter?
Yeah, okay. This can be the Audi matter this week. And we will play his call, and then I'd also like to play Brian L. Perkins' response call.
Oh, he got back to us.
Well, he didn't. No, he did not get back to us. What happened was we had a response call last week to something that happened the week before, and we forgot to play it.
Oh, Jesus!
We're just down the rabbit hole.
We need an unpaid intern.
We really do. We need a whole,
even though I'm against unpaid internships.
We need a whole staff, really.
Yeah,
holding our testicles for us. Okay, it might take me a second to
if
find.
They can find them in my case.
I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you want to pause it or if you want me to just dick around on the air.
Oh, I see your point. And the question is, you dick, I'll vamp.
Okay, I'll dick.
And we'll see how long it lasts, but I might hit the thing anyway, just in case. So I was coming home on the subway today, and there were two people sitting on the stairs while hundreds of people tried to get down past them. And this is an LA thing where people sit on the goddamn stairs waiting for the trains and just having their lives as if we're all in their movie and we're just extras.
This is literally you're like the ferret guy who would call up Rudy Giuliani during Rudy Giuliani's talk show. Have you ever heard him go off on
Rudy
the ferret
Giuliani
guy?
had a talk show?
Yeah, when he was mayor, he would do like a weekly like call-in show.
Really?
Yeah, just like a talk to the mayor or whatever kind of thing. And there was this guy who was obsessed with ferrets. And there's this fantastic call. It's like an all-time classic, like the John Wayne, excerpts or whatever, like the Casey Kasem. Like you gotta do a fucking dead dog dedication. I gotta come out of an upbeat song. So Rudy Giuliani had this guy called in about legalizing ferret ownership, and he would call in every week. And Rudy Giuliani just went off on him. He's like, you're the ferret guy, aren't you? He's like, you are devoting your entire life to a weasel. It's really fucking amazing. But that's you. You are the ferret guy. Talking to Dad Jeans listeners about people who sit on the stairs.
And lest we forget, Rudy Giuliani has a lisp. So he probably said,
interesting.
Weevil.
Yeah. There was a period of time when I quite enjoyed him as a cartoonish figure. But then everything just went downhill. He was no fun anymore.
It started with the 2004 Republican National Convention, where he was just, I'm surprised that he didn't double pierce his nipples with dangling Twin Towers off of them and then just like swirl them around like tassels.
Yeah.
So that people,
that's kind of all he's got.
His whole speech was 9/11, 9/11, 9/11, 9/11,
right.
9/11, 9/11, 9/11.
I will say this though, on 9/11, being in New York City, Bush is on his fucking plane. I don't know if you remember this. The entire country doesn't know where he is for like 8 hours.
Oh yeah, and then Cheney for the next year.
Yeah,
for some reason Cheney had to be hid for a year.
Well, because he was the real president.
He
was just like down, but he wasn't even really like he lives in an underground lair. So like, that wasn't
exactly. He doesn't need to hide
him. Yeah, they're just like, okay, good. We don't need to fuck with Cheney. We don't
he's
need to
just
bring
like
him
he's
out
a
into
human
the
cicada
sun again. But Giuliani was there and present and like doing his fucking job on that day. And that day I was like, I am really proud of him as my mayor. He's doing an amazing job.
Yeah, down there administrating.
He was on the ball. He was on the ball on 9/11.
So
he deserved that. He deserves that day.
He does deserve that day.
He was the leader, the de facto leader of our nation's fears that day, and I thought he handled himself quite well.
That's true. And I was watching the footage live in my apartment in New Haven, and there was a moment where he's walking around and he's got a face mask on, and a reporter came up to him to ask him a question.
Like Bane?
Yeah, exactly. And
it looks quite dirty down here.
Jet fuel can't melt steel at that temperature. Oh!
It was an inside job.
And this reporter started to approach him, and he admonished the reporter and said, "Put your face mask on. Put your face mask on." which I thought was really, and out of concern, out of like, so this sort of like fatherly, urgent concern for the reporters.
Right. Look at you. It was a different time, wasn't it?
Bronchial health.
Wasn't it? It was a different time.
Sorry, I was looking for the word bronchial while I was
Who
vocifying.
isn't looking for the word bronchial, my friend?
Yeah, I know. And I was asthmatic. It should have been right on the tip of my lungs.
Let's listen to, on that note, let's listen to some Mark Smith.
Okay. What was that? What is that? What's that sound?
Excuse me.
All right. Hey, Dad Jeans. Long-time caller, first-time listener. My spite is when people are too nice. I am full of spite, and I don't like people much. So, you work with that person that really messes something up bad, and you're really mad at them. You go tell them, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And you just want to be mad, but you can't. And that happens over and over, and they're always nice, and you just want to yell at them. So, don't be too nice, guys.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Mark, I feel you, man.
Wait, so let me just give some background for our new listeners.
Which there are
hilarious.
several hundred every week.
Which every week there's just people jumping onto the ship, jumping on, rats jumping back on the ship. That's what Dad Jeans.
Yeah,
is.
that's true. That would be our log line if we were a feature film.
Exactly. So that was my brother-in-law we had a spectacular a few episodes back.
Indeed.
Which if you haven't listened, it's butter. Listen to it.
But it's not bad.
And my brother-in-law Mark Smith called in, and we nodded to him and somehow lost his call.
I think we even teased his call as being
teased
like
his
next
call.
and soon, and
we were very excited about it.
after the next break.
Yeah, we were very excited about it. We got the kids in, right? We got my niece and nephew.
We got the kids. We got Mandy.
We got everyone, but
And then we were
Mark.
like, "That's everybody.
Yeah.
On to the next family."
And Mark apparently had some really. He went back to drinking. Oh, like after this episode,
Fell off the wagon.
He had-
I'm sure he went out to the garage and started smashing the car windows.
Yeah. Oh, he did. Yeah. With his Perryman. Perryman, are those clubs?
Is that a type of golf club?
golf club? His golf clubs that he was
his
like,
big
I'll
Bertha.
never play again.
I just want to destroy something beautiful.
Yep, exactly.
I know, my Bugatti,
Yeah, exactly. So it
my
was
Lamborghini Countach.
right. But so now that he's put a curse on us and he wants nothing to do with the show ever again. Now we're coming back to him and we're apologizing from the deepest depths of our heart
Yep.
and saying,
I'm
you know what?
apologizing to you from my Fupa Audi.
Your groin, your fupa groin, your fupa Audi. Fupa Audi. That's definitely a car at some point in the
or
future.
the episode title.
The Fupa Audi. Now with more horsepower. I don't know.
And 3 seatbelts.
Okay, let me say something. Mark Smith himself is the nicest guy.
I had a feeling.
It's so funny. Like,
So I love that he's like, I fucking hate nice people.
yeah, exactly.
And it's like, I hate people myself.
I know, totally.
So I don't know why these nice people have to
Right.
make it hard for me to hate them.
Yeah, but he's the nicest guy, and that's the whole thing about your statement, Mark, is that you in fact are the nice guy, and the other people, like anyone else, would just hate these people and be a dick to them.
A theory is a
And
bubbling.
you are nicer than the nice guys. Okay?
Here's my theory.
What's your theory?
Then you get your menos who will fucking give you the shirt off their back. But they suck and they're so confrontational and they and they just like tell you why you fail all the time. But then also they will bail you out of jail and be the only one who answers the phone and like picks you up at 5:30 in the morning. Because there are people who like they convey their love through action, and then there are the others who try to convey them through measly words.
Oh, I have, and it's men. This is a very male trait. I have male friends that it took me many years to actually decide whether or not I liked them, and they're that sort that are just like, they are always there for you.
Yeah,
but like then they're just kind of dicks too. But
right.
But then you come to realize after being friends with these people for a long time that is how they express their love.
Yes.
And they would not be dicks to you.
Did we talk
if
about
they
the
didn't
5
love you.
languages of love?
Oh God, no.
on the airwaves.
Nope.
This came up. My dear friend Elena, Todd, who did the meditation jams. Elena is his wife, and Elena read some book and she conveyed it to me. There are 5 languages of love.
Okay.
And as luck would have it, Emily speaks 3, and I speak the other 2.
Oh, how about that?
It's really
Is
nice
that
when
what
couples
you're
have some
supposed to
overlap.
have?
What
Is that
you
what
want
you're
is
supposed to
overlap.
have? Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. Oh, no, that's a bad thing.
Oh.
Yeah, we're a full house. Whereas you would want like 4 of a kind, or,
Okay.
I don't know. That totally broke down. But my point is, there are 5 languages. There are words, things you say, or something like that. Deeds, acts of service. Acts of service.
Okay.
Words, quality time, and then 2 others.
Interesting.
And
do you remember which ones you have?
motherfuck, what's the? Oh, touch is the 4th one.
Okay.
And there's the 5th one. And for me, I am touch and words.
Okay.
And Emily is quality time and acts of service. And then there's a 5th potpourri. I can't remember what the 5th one is. But the thing, so like Emily will be like, look, I clean the entire house. And I walk into the house and I don't notice that the house is spotless, but I do notice that she didn't drop everything and let me kiss her on the cheek because she was in the middle of something.
Okay.
And then it's like, what about my kiss? You know what I mean?
Okay.
And, but lo and behold, I'm standing in a completely spotless house. And she's like, what about the fact that I just spent hours cleaning because I love you? Or she like cooks dinner or whatever. And I'm like, hunch. So you haven't said you love me lately. I don't say that. But my point is,
right.
I say words in touch, which means fuck all and cost me nothing. And she does acts of service. And what was the other one? Quality time. And she wants quality time. Hers actually cost her and mine don't cost me. So I'm a lazy lover.
Well, I suppose, but they both fit into what you derive pleasure from yourself. Like, she's not cleaning the house because she's like, I'm a fucking slob at heart, but I'll clean the house for Brendan. It's not an act of altruism necessarily.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, perhaps that's true.
I'm saying she wants a clean fucking house, and then she wants to be rewarded for it.
Interesting.
And come on, that's not your fucking problem.
Yeah.
What are you? She's gonna do exactly what she wants in life, and then be like, "Oh, congratulate me for being exactly who I am."
What the hell?
Come on,
God.
get out of here with that.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
Thank you, Jeffrey. You just saved my marriage.
Hey, I think I did right before a very big amount of time
yes,
in which
indeedy.
you're going to be alone together.
That'll be coming up in One Toe in the Cool.
Okay.
But I have this other thing to say.
Yes.
Nice people, on the other hand,
Yep.
I have been described.
What was the first hand?
Oh, the first hand was there are mean
Minos?
people, the Minos.
Okay.
So on the other hand, then there are your niceos,
Deminos.
the demonos,
Deminos.
Deminos. Alex Jones would call them simply demons,
Of course.
who are nice. I've been accused of being nice in my life.
Uh-huh.
Some have said I'm nice. But I fucking hate
I know
it.
you too well.
Exactly.
know
You know
you
me.
too well.
I fucking hate everybody.
You have rage underneath.
Rage?
You're a great actor.
Jeff, I am really
You're a
mad.
brilliant actor.
And I
But
fucking
you're good at
hate. I have
making
hate in my
people
heart.
think you like them.
Yeah.
But that's your trick, because you're just sitting there like fucking seething with hatred.
Yeah.
And like you're winning because they think that you're nice and that you like them. And
But at what cost? Why am I doing this? Like, I get into
No
trouble
reason.
where I'm like, oh, sorry. So what happens is, here's my pattern, and I wonder if our friend in the north
can I
goes
do the
through this
Bane
too.
voice some more?
Yeah. So if someone like,
Tell us your pattern.
here's my pattern, Bane and Company.
Bane, master of social work.
And private equity.
I haven't completed my doctorate yet. I'm ABD, but I'd love to help you. I am allowed to observe you if I'm accompanied by a professional. I'm really an intern. Show me on the doll. Yeah. Never mind, just show me on me.
So
Okay. Sorry.
So then you get your nice house. If half the time when I say I'm sorry, instead I was like, stop giving me shit to whoever's giving me shit,
Yeah.
I wouldn't resent them as much.
Of course.
And they would respect me more.
That's probably true.
Because like someone gives me shit until I fucking break, and I never break.
Yeah.
I just get nicer and nicer and sorrier and sorrier.
Right.
But I actually fucking hate them, and I'm a nice person. So like the joke is on the nice guys.
Okay, but is there something in your head? Like this is something I grapple with as well, and I feel I've pushed through it at some points in my life. I feel like with you, Brendan, I am completely like straight up honest with you sometimes to the point of being a total dick. And
Can confirm. Just kidding.
no, you can and feel free to. And I want you to know that I thank you for being there in that
to
capacity.
receive your dick?
To receive my dick, my big fat cock. No, but like when we were doing, I feel like when we were doing pizzicato, like we would have mini heated discussions.
Yes, over Slack.
And I don't have heated discussions with people. That's not something
Me
I
neither.
do. And I felt like to me, it is the ultimate sign of respect, Brendan.
Yes, indeed.
That I feel as if I could have those conversations with you, and it meant that I respected you so much and liked you so much that I could be honest. And I felt like this is only going to strengthen our friendship at the end of the day.
I couldn't agree more, and that touches me deeply in the cockles. And I will also say this. Feisty collaborations are the only collaborations to have.
Okay.
And I only ever took it in the spirit of it meant you cared.
Right. There's
And-
passion.
Yeah,
There's
and that
there.
passion, like if either of us ever got bullheaded, and I would never go as far as to describe us as that, but if either of us like got heated,
Yes.
it was because we cared so much about the product of what we were doing.
Absolutely.
And that is the sign of a feisty, fruitful collaboration.
Exactly. And that is, we speak the same language of love, Brendan.
We do. Yes.
You and I.
Yeah. Phalanges.
Yeah. It's really all about fingering.
Finger banging is the scientific term.
Yes. Finger banging. That's the fifth one. You couldn't remember.
Finger banging. Finger banging.
Finger banging.
Finger banging. So the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels
Yep.
was not that funny. Ruprecht the monkey boy.
It's
that
not
part
that
was
funny?
kind of funny.
It's so funny.
That the Ruprecht the
just
monkey boy thing is an island in
so
the middle
clever.
of a kind of mediocre, in my opinion, movie.
Okay, that's
But
fair.
they roared through the making of it. They laughed and laughed and laughed.
Okay.
And then and then the audience didn't laugh.
Oh, interesting.
So and plays that I've directed where everyone ends up loving each other.
Yeah.
Nothing really happens.
Sure.
But the plays where people
Tension.
yell and have episodes or are like, this is terrible and we can't figure out how to fix it, and we're all pounding our heads against the wall, and then it just like opens and it's a mess, have been the transcendent masterpieces.
Interesting. I enjoy Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, so I'm going to tell you you're an idiot.
Oh, well.
Well, I enjoyed it years ago, but I know what you're talking about. It definitely has that. It's not laugh out loud funny. Mm-hmm. It's more like, oh, witty. But but that's a genre, right? That's like a fucking, and they don't make many of those anymore.
No, they sure don't.
Like I would say that actually Steve Martin in general is more that flavor. Roxanne, not laugh out loud funny.
I very much enjoyed that movie.
It's
That's
a great
classic.
movie. It's a great movie. Not
Right,
laugh out loud funny.
It more raises your eyebrows and hugs your amygdala.
Yeah, it's just like it feels good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's circle back somewhere to the Niceos.
The Niceos.
Did we finish that?
Well, I think we're in it right now. The Niceos
Okay.
might be full of shit.
Right. Okay. You're saying that those people, but okay, these people that Mark is dealing with, is encountering, are they the people who are just like grinning through shit-eating
Yeah,
grins?
those people hate everybody.
Or are they genuinely nice people?
Oh, and then there's those folks. Yeah, there's a guy I know who's literally the nicest person I've ever met.
Well, here's something I want to throw into the mix here. Mm-hmm. Mark grew up Mormon.
I see. So he knows nothing but the nicest of nice people who have a sinister dark side.
Well, do they though? I know so many, like every Mormon I've ever met is the nicest person I've ever met.
Yep.
And there is no dark side. They're just nice.
They're just nice.
They're just literally
Oh
nice.
yeah, I think if you are a fellow Mormon who has left the church, that's where their dark side comes up. Otherwise, they're the nicest people ever.
I mean, I bet fucking Mitt Romney is probably a swell stand-up guy.
Does seem like a super nice guy.
I'm sure he's a super nice guy. He's got some fucked up ideas
he's
about
got some terrible
and they've
ideas.
and the Mormon Church has got some bad ideas. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, do they ever?
But like,
I mean, the whole thing. Jesus Christ. It's just
yeah. But somehow they have there's a happiness to these people.
Yeah,
A
and that's
fulfillment.
also that Midwestern thing.
Yeah,
You go
sure.
through the Midwest and people
Well, I
are
don't know if I would
so
consider
friendly.
Utah the Midwest, but
Oh no, I guess not. Yeah, no, Utah is its own animal. How much time have you spent in Utah?
my sister lived in Salt Lake for a while.
Oh yeah,
And I went to visit a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
I quite liked it, actually. It was gorgeous.
Southern Utah is the most beautiful place in the United States,
so
and no one
gorgeous.
talks about it.
It's so beautiful.
Bryce Canyon, Zion.
Yeah, never been to
Arches.
either of those. Would love to go.
It is Moab, Utah. Moab, Utah, Jeffrey.
Yeah, it's insane.
The rest of the country is just like foreplay for Moab, Utah.
I buy that.
You get to Moab and you're
pristine.
like, oh, that's
And they're
what
not.
this was
It's
all
not
about.
dirty. There's no pollution. Somehow they
No,
don't
there's
have
just
global
red
warming
rock.
there.
Nope.
It's just beautiful.
It's just beautiful. It's prehistoric.
Maybe they are the chosen people.
They chose the right place. Mm-hmm. That's for goddamn sure.
This is the place. That's what Joseph Smith said when he led his followers across the country, and he landed
got to
in
Utah?
Salt Lake.
I would have too.
He stood atop a mountain and he looked around and he said, "This is the place."
And then he said, let's start making independent films.
No, maybe, but there are many times in my life, in which I will be with a group of people and I will go someplace, like we'll be camping and we'll look for our spot, and then I'll stop somewhere and I'll be like, "This is the place."
Oh, and that level of
No one
confidence.
catches my reference.
Ah.
No, I'm explicitly trying to reference something and hoping that someone will be like, "You clever man," but no one ever does.
It's pronounced Cleverman.
Cleverman. Shall we move on?
That's who Mr. T played in Rocky 3.
Oh, really? I thought it was DC Cab.
No, he actually played Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang. Listen to you.
I just kicked my shoes off for the first time in Dad Jeans history.
That was super hot. I think tonight's going to get a little raunchy. Do we want to play Brian L. Perkins's
Response
call right now, or do we save it? Because we have 2 calls from Brian L. Perkins tonight.
Right. And it was a response to we're in the front matter. Let's take care of all of our front matter. Let's
Okay.
keep going.
The response to, so a couple of weeks ago, on the Spectacular, Brian L. Perkins had this thing about how you should sort your silverware into the correct compartments before you start the dishwashing. We thought about this. We agreed with it at the time, and then I had a conversation with my friend Matt Ransford, a former guest,
And you were corrupted.
and he said, you're losing time on the front end or you're losing time on the back end.
Oh, he went zero sum on that shit.
He's saying, and it's almost more like you're wasting time because you're still going to have to sort the shit when you take it out, because you're not going to just like pull out the entire fork drawer in one go. And then like it's
Oh, but I do. But one does.
not on you've got the whole thing, the whole silverware tray.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you live. I don't think you have a dishwasher.
You don't know my life.
I don't know your life.
You're right. I don't actually.
So what am I saying? So anyway, Brian Perkins, we sort of decided that we didn't agree with him, and then he was a little bit upset about that, as he tends to get. There's a hot-blooded American.
And somewhere
now.
on the Bay Bridge,
Yeah.
he whipped out his cell phone, endangering the lives of everyone around him
Yes. So
in order to rebut our segment.
exactly, and here he is swerving through traffic, angrily rebutting us.
What was that?
Brian L. Perkins. Look, I don't know your life. I don't know. This, by the way, is in regards to both the Spectacular and the Compunction, I believe. I don't know your life. I don't know your fucking dishwasher setup. But I will tell you this, Jeffrey Densmore, and I can't remember Brendan's second Chaos Muppet tangent disagreeing with me. But Jeffrey, I don't know how your life works, but in my house, it takes just as much or as little time to put all the big forks in one thing and all the small forks in a different one than it does to just do them all fucking cattywampus and higgledy-piggledy and what the fuck ever. So it doesn't take a whole lot of time for me to categorize them properly. But what does take a lot of time, and which makes a lot of noise and wakes the kids up and shit, is when I have to fucking fiddle through all the goddamn silverware. If there's one of each type of all the kinds of silverware in every compartment, it just takes longer. I end up poking my hands. Admittedly, I will give you this. It is not a huge time saver, but it's just a little fucking thing that gets to me. But I completely disagree that you lose the time either on the front end or the back end. I maintain wholeheartedly, at least with my machine and in my life, that it is just as easy to put all of the same type of silverware in one compartment or in a couple compartments that are adjacent to one another. That takes just as little time as just fucking throwing them in there like you don't give a shit. Just a small little, I fucking lost my train of thought. It's late, I'm tired, but I didn't want to forget to do this, and now this call has been like 2 minutes long, so I apologize to the listeners. But I would also like to say to all the people that called in for the spectacular, please call in more. Oh, your shit was awesome, and just fucking call, please. Dad Jeans needs you. I need you. I'm alone in the car all the time. I need you people. Help me. Thank you.
He is basically our honorary co-host, I would say.
He's a gift to America.
Gift. He's an American treasure.
Listen, I think the problem here, I think where we're the unspoken, the elephant in the room, if you will, Brendan, is that he's got a fucking industrial dishwasher. This guy's got like a dishwasher on a conveyor belt that runs through the center of his home.
I have a feeling he has a walk-in dishwasher.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's all that ad money that he's collected over the years.
Yeah, the madman that he is. I have two observations.
Okay.
Observation number one, mathematically, you've got all the crap in the sink, all the dishes in the sink. You rinse them off, and then you're grabbing the silverware, the flatware, your flatwares, one by one. And in that moment, it does indeed it takes probably a quarter of a second to assign by category each of the thing to a square, and then tell your arm to move it just ever so slightly, and that bank it into that direction and then in there, and then it does save you time on the back end. I'm gonna say it.
Oh, you're back now.
I'm back. It shaves.
Okay.
And on the back end, if you're looking at it, you have to look at it and be like, here's a project that I didn't sign up for.
Yep.
And it's one of 1,000 times I'm going to do this, and it's going to take forever. And if you start adding it up, it's going to be a really long time that you're just doing that in your life.
You know what? We're going to do some dishes later tonight after this episode.
Is that you mean the sexual euphemism, doing the dishes?
Well, you took your shoes off.
I did.
And that he didn't actually take his shoes off. That in itself was a euphemism.
Oh, yeah. It's from that song. Off. It's getting hot in here, so kick off all your shoes.
Kick off all your shoes.
Here's my second observation.
Oh, God. Oh, I want to. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm hijacking
No,
this.
hijack. Please take.
He alluded to using enough that it is a phenomenon. 2 sizes of fork.
Oh.
What does that tell you?
He did.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So
we know Downton Abbey up in this piece.
That's why I'm saying he has an industrial sized dishwasher.
Yeah,
he has he's upstairs downstairs situation. Where the downstairs. He doesn't even he's given me the advice that he'd give to his servants.
He comes down here in his plaid
man
shirts.
in waiting.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm just like you. I button my own buttons.
Yeah, right.
on my plaid shirt,
Exactly.
And here I am. I'm being a bohemian
when my valet isn't around.
Right, my attaché.
Yeah,
and in fact, he probably eats dinner in a white tie and tails every night.
I would not doubt it for a second.
I had no idea. They walk among us, Jeffrey.
They barely.
Billionaires' lives
walk.
Matter.
They are carried around among us on sedan chairs.
So, and you, sir, I'm dying to hear your response.
All I have to say is, if you were to see the tiny ass fucking silverware thing on my like, first of all, you have to spread out the forks between two different compartments, one way or the other. And then you've got like there's no like clear designated spot for all of these things. Like you've got like this little 4 square item at the back, which really you can fit one piece of silverware into each of the squares. I'm saying it's just like you have to have the right. I can see how that would make sense in the correct sort of silverware setup.
But those little squares, are they intended for your oyster knife?
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what they're for. They're for the one time a year you use your fucking duck
One time a year?
pincers.
One time a day, my friend.
Well, I know you eat a lot of oysters, but your duck pincers or your whatever.
Right. Duck press.
Yeah,
Duck
exactly.
press blades.
Exactly. Yeah. That's where those go. I don't know. There's no it feels like a very poor my dishwasher feels like a very poor design. It is not thought out for one to be sitting there fucking figuring out where to put what all day.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like cram the shit in here, turn this shit on, rip it out while it's still got little crumbs of cookie all over it, and put it in your fucking drawer. And
Put in your drawer hole.
yeah, in your drawer hole, and then use it to shove more food into your fucking gullet until you die.
2 more things to say about that.
Okay.
But in the immortal words of Tim Meadows in Ladies Man, my dishwasher technically does not exist.
Wow, listen to that, pulling out some ladies' man quotes.
That movie should have won the Oscar.
Really, never saw it.
Oh, it's so good.
There's some surprises out there. In the
I
Saturday
love
Night
Tim
movies.
Meadows.
Stuart saves his family. The Stuart Smalley movie is quite funny.
Oh, how do you like that?
How do
Now, a United States Senator.
Yes. And
Tim
should be
Meadows
our
is
vice president.
who is now on Son of Zorn.
Yes.
Is wonderful. Oh, by the way, Brian Kahn hired me to appear in a Son of Zorn promotional video
I
that will
can't wait
appear
to
on
see
YouTube
that.
soon.
Very excited.
Keep your eyes peeled. You see me almost naked.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Hot. You had 2 more things to say, and then we really need to start a segment, and we need to hear about your life.
All right, we'll just go into One Toe in the Cool after that. I don't have anything else to say. Although, my only observations were the fact that it's 2-size forks that he's contending with all the time.
Yeah.
And
That does tell us something.
whatever the first one was.
Yeah.
Oh, I love also that I'm the Chaos Muppet tangent person, which I know I am.
Right.
And I thought I should change at some point, and then I abandoned changing.
No, I think we found a nice rhythm.
The Brendan on Dad Jeans, which is not the real Brendan, I should hasten to add for any
God.
family members
I've
listening.
never met the real Brendan then.
Has anyone, Jeffrey? Is fixed mindset. The real Brendan is growth mindset, but Dad Jeans Brendan is fixed mindset.
Okay, that's good. It's good to have a character.
Yeah, like Colbert.
I will say that I'm the same Jeffrey no matter where you see me.
That is true. The mics heat up and nothing changes on your end.
No, I'm just exactly the same piece of garbage that I always am.
So authentic.
All right. One toe in the cool.
One toe.
You put your one toe in, then leave it in. You're done.
Brendan, you have big news.
I do have big news.
Share your big news.
I have 2 pieces of big news.
Put your big news in our ears.
Here, get ready. Your ears have a big news shaped hole, and I'm about to fill it.
Fill it.
Big news number 1, I quit my job. I quit my damn job.
Okay.
And it was really exciting. And my last day is on Friday.
Why the fuck would you quit your job? What do you have lined up?
I know, right? Why would Brendan Hughes quit his
what could
union
you possibly,
job?
Yeah, where would you be going from here that you would be so callous?
So cavalier.
So cavalier as to quit your job. No thought to your family.
None.
No thought to the rest of America.
None.
And all of the digitized ads we need in our malls. No thought to the malls.
You may have seen my work in Times Square or malls.
Yeah, exactly.
And by my work, I mean other people's work that I uploaded.
Well, it's a function.
It is a function. I did perform Some could call it a function.
You performed a function. Well, congratulations
Thank
to
you.
you for leaving your job.
Thank you.
I hope that this was a decision that you felt comfortable with.
Longtime Dad Jeans listeners will know your wife got me this job. Prior to which, I was a destitute wannabe. Mm-hmm. And then that was 3.5 years ago.
Homeless.
And now I am a man. I got it around the same time Oscar was born. I got it 3 weeks later, Oscar was born.
You have a resume now.
I have resume. Yeah. I mean, my resume says that I did a bunch of different things and never chose a career, which is true.
Okay.
But do I have a craft? No, not really. But what I do have is some experience in corporate America that was very eye-opening.
I bet.
I learned a lot, Jeffrey.
And now you can do your next thing about corporate America.
Oh, I suppose I could.
Yep.
Yeah. And the reason I quit my job, Jeff,
Do tell.
is because Emily and I are about to spend 1 calendar year in Malaysia. No, it's true. It's true.
What are you doing?
I know.
You're ruining
I know.
our lives.
I know. I am.
Do you know who? Do you know how many? Did you hear all those gunshots
Yeah.
going off? That's all of our. Those are our 5 listeners killing themselves. They just
It's so
shot themselves
sad.
in the head,
Guys, I'm sorry about
in
that.
the neck. They didn't even shoot themselves in the head. They shot
wanted it to be
themselves in
slow.
the neck.
They wanted it
Yeah.
to be as slow
They're
as
like,
possible.
this is going to be amazing.
They want it to
I'm
be
just,
agonizing.
Like, I'm actually not even going to die from this. I just won't be able to eat food, and I'm going to starve to death.
I'm going to spell donk life in my own blood on my bedroom wall.
God, oh please, we have to do some kind of a goodbye episode.
Well, we should get tattoos of donk life on our stomachs.
Oh well, I already do. I've got one.
Oh, there you go.
It's in Chinese characters. I hope that's okay.
I would prefer it to have been in Malay.
Why? Because you're going to Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Brendan, tell me, this is so exciting for you.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
I have known this news. I've known that it was coming
You have.
for a couple of weeks. I was secretly hoping that something would go wrong, even though I am very happy for you and your family.
Thank you. I take that as a compliment.
But
as Donald Trump said to Hillary Clinton.
Is that what he said to her?
When she was like, his kids are all right, I guess. and he was like, I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, that he had where he was like, I don't want to touch them. When they're children, don't let them see me. Don't let them touch me.
If I accidentally cup the bosom of my own daughter by accident, it's an accident.
Okay, give us the full scoop. Give us a skinny.
The skinny is that Emily is quite an accomplished documentary cinematographer. I don't mind bragging.
We have heard.
And she has been invited to be a filmmaker in residence at a college in Johor, which is not a Rastafarian prostitute. But in fact, just outside of Singapore, which is a whole separate country, yet is surrounded by Malaysia.
Wow. What? How did this come about?
The dean of the film school at this particular college in Johor, Malaysia, grew up with Emily, or knows her brother, or was roommates with her brother in college, or they've been colleagues of some sort. I don't exactly know.
Okay.
And so as a result. We are deciding, because Oscar's 3.5, we can do this before he goes to school.
Yeah.
We're deciding to have an adventure. We've been in wheel ruts. You know when you're saying you're in a rut? You know where that comes from?
No.
The wagons that went across the country to California.
Yeah.
The wheels, the wagon wheels, are those thin wooden jobbies.
Yep.
And it would rain now and then, because this is the United States. We're no stranger to rain.
Nope.
Which would mud up the dirt roads. And then those wheels would carve trenches. And then eventually there were long stretches where the wagon wheels were deep, like 2 feet deep in wheel ruts.
Wow.
And they just and it was almost like taking a train across the country, just like all the way across. Your wheels were in the wheel ruts. And you could not be in the wheel ruts because, God forbid, you fell in. So you had to just like give up and just be in them.
But that sounds like it would be better than not being in the rut.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
That sounds
absolutely.
like a positive
You don't want to get down to the nut, though, and then your nut is scraping on the ground.
Not a nut in the rut.
The nut in the rut.
Yeah.
And when you say you're in a rut, what you're saying is your wagon wheels are in that rut that then goes on the same path always as everyone in front of you.
Okay.
That's what being in a rut is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so you have been in a rut?
Well, I punch a clock. The weeks fly by.
You need adventure. We need adventure in life.
I need adventure. I need to learn Malaysia.
We need excitement.
I need to learn to cook. I need to learn to draw. I need to learn piano. I need to go to Legoland, Malaysia, which is going to be a mile away.
You're going to do all those things?
Yeah.
Is it one of those things where you're going to show up in Malaysia and you'll be like, oh, it's just like a strip mall?
Oh no, it totally is. It's North Platte, Nebraska.
Oh, interesting.
Like all the houses are the same, or it's like Raleigh, North Carolina. That it's like just like condominiums that look exactly the same as far as I can see. Mega malls and McDonald's and KFC.
Right, but the jungle is right next door.
Oh, yeah, well, like tigers randomly kill people. That's the only difference.
Amazing.
And everyone's Malaysian.
There's history. There's amazing like 1,000-year-old temples probably and things like that
nearby. Sure.
I mean, I don't know anything about
not
Malaysia.
in Johor, but elsewhere, yeah, absolutely. Wow. No, we live in a very modern suburb. We will be living in a very modern suburb, but Singapore is fucking insane.
Yeah,
and
don't eat a durian on the subway.
Right? Don't what?
Yeah. Eat a durian on the subway.
A durian, is that a type of bagel, like a bialy?
It's a fruit, stinky fruit.
Oh yeah,
and you'll get caned if you
get caned or tag a car or chew gum or spit.
Yeah, don't do any of that shit.
Singapore is the richest country per capita in the world.
What? More than Saudi Arabia or someplace like that? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. It is. It's a city, but it's a country. It's like the Vatican.
What? Do they have oil? Where do you get money in Singapore?
I think they just have rich people who just want to be around other rich people. Wow. It's like New York. Like you can't live there. Right. Like we were looking on Airbnb and it was like ultra luxury. And it's these like apartment buildings that every balcony is a pool, an infinity pool, that kind of shit.
Amazing.
And it's like $4,000 a night.
Ooh. Yow.
That's not true, but $4,000 a month.
$4,000 a month. That's typical. That's not that far off from
New York.
Normal rent in this day and age.
It's fucked up.
I know. But okay, give us more. Give us more. Is there more? Are we going to continue, Brendan? That's what
our listeners are curious
that's what people
about, right?
Know.
Well, here's what we're going to do, Jeffrey.
Are we going to? Is this relationship over? Are you breaking up with me tonight?
Tonight I'm breaking up with you, but I'm hoping to have some goodbye smooches.
No.
I will say this.
Yes.
Do you and Sarah consider yourselves open-minded? Because I walked here. I will say this.
No.
We have both have Zoom recorders, you and I.
You and I.
Skype exists as a thing.
Yep.
It's horrible for getting a flow going, and I'm worried about that because I love nothing more, as our listeners will attest, than interrupting you with a story that has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
That is true. However, I will say Skype is 1,000 times better for that than any conference call. You made that point to me a little while ago that like Skype actually does somehow do it right.
It does.
You do feel like you're in the same space.
Yeah, that's true.
So we can do that.
We can.
And perhaps we could even do like video Skype so that we're like looking
It must be video Skype. And it will be this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a MHK 416 or whatever. What is this? No, it's a Shure SM58. I also have an SM58. So and by that I mean microphone. And so we'll sound the same.
Okay.
And we just record and cut it together in Bob's your uncle.
Oh,
it'll be as if we're in the same place, except I will be. Oh, here's the most fucked up thing, Jeff.
And we can also bring in special guests like Christian Rudder that we've been meaning to bring in.
Oh yeah, he'll be in New York
now that when we figure out how to do the Skype thing. Yeah,
that's gonna be sick. Or like Google Hangouts or what have you. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, Mister. You know how we're sitting and our heads are pointed upward at the ceiling in the sky?
Okay.
If I'm sitting while we're doing the podcast after I go to Malaysia, which is
you probably will be. You'll probably sit sometimes in Malaysia.
Yeah, although Jim and Marjorie, I learned on WGBH, stand the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, and it helps with their energy.
How about that?
Anyway, I will be sitting, we'll be butt to butt.
Oh.
My head will be pointed in the opposite direction of us.
Like
because
me
I will
and
be
you and everyone we know?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Well, I'll be pooping into your butt. because Johor is on literally the other side of the planet and my body will be pointing the other way. Up will be fucking down for you.
I don't think
down will be up.
I don't think we can do this. That sounds bad.
I'll just turn the screen upside down so that it
dangerous.
Seems correct.
Or you'll sit on you'll go on the ceiling You'll
pee
do
on the ceiling?
You'll just like glue all your furniture to the ceiling and then
Oh, yeah.
hang around.
And then I'll be like, I'm in the U.S. I'm just on the upside down. I'm in the upside down.
in the upside down. Oh, creepy.
Yeah.
Brendan, I'm so excited for you.
I'm thrilled. I can't wait. I think it's going to be muy interesante.
And when are you leaving?
We're leaving imminently, believe it or not, because they have all the stuff. The contract is signed. A week and a half ago, they said that the what do you call that thing? Visa will take 2 to 4 weeks. The semester starts November 14th.
Okay.
And and so we'll probably be there by November 14th, if not shortly thereafter.
The entire family is going to make it there by November 14th?
Somehow, hook or crook.
So you haven't bought, and they're paying for plane tickets.
They're reimbursing her. We have to get ourselves there, but we're willing to do it.
And then do you ship things?
Yep, we ship things, and we rented our place, or we're in the midst of inking that deal.
Amazing.
with a lovely New York couple who has a 1-year-old son.
How about that?
And so then
they're just going to be here for a year?
Yeah, and they're going to have our car, our furniture, our house, our jobs.
Are they doing
our bank accounts?
Are they movie people?
Our social media profiles.
Are they movie people? How are they just here for a year?
Actors trying out L.A.
Oh, okay.
Seeing if they want to do it.
Okay.
And by all accounts, lovely.
And there's no chance that you will just stay there?
In Johor, Malaysia?
Yeah.
Well, I've been thinking, Jeff, I could become a call center millionaire. And if I do, rings on every finger, baby.
You could also become a tea-wala.
Oh, what's that now? Is that someone who rides a tuk-tuk?
I think that's someone who gives people tea.
Oh. Wait, tea, does that stand for something sexual?
No. Tea.
Ah.
Walk around with a tea.
Oh, yeah.
Hand people tea and put sugar in their tea.
Oh, I see.
I learned that from Slumdog Millionaire.
Tiwala.
Tiwala.
You know what they don't have?
But you're going to come back, right?
Probably. I don't know. Who knows?
Well,
because I'm quitting my
what
job.
The future holds. That's true.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing, Jeff. That's a whole other part of the world.
Yeah.
And then
you got to do a thing while you're there, though, right? Like you're gonna have spare time.
A lot.
Are you gonna work? Do you think you're gonna be a Tiwala or something, or what are you gonna do?
Well, they're talking about I teach directing and acting. I do have one gig where I'm going to be making a short film at Pace University in New York City in February.
What?
That's a brief thing. For
Where'd that
1 week,
come
I'll
from?
be in New York City. A friend from grad school.
How about that?
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And then I have some editing. I'm always doing freelance editing here and there.
Okay.
But other than that, I might write, Jeff. I might become a writer. I might play piano. I might draw. I'm going to spend a lot of time with my son. I'm going to pour myself into my son, and I'm going to be the primary. Emily's been the primary since he was born. And now
she's
I'm
had
her
her fair share of time out of the house as well.
This is certainly true, but she's really a talented parent.
Mostly there with him?
Yeah, and she's been the quarterback big time.
I'm excited to hear how that goes.
I know. I'm going to get my ass handed to me in a major goddamn way.
Let me ask you a question, and it's not about Malaysia. This is something that has been, maybe this is a longer discussion than tonight, but something I've been curious about for a while now is we as parents, all of us are guilty of it across the parenting spectrum, coming up with little theories and ideas about things that we're going to do with our children, and they go the way of the dodo after a while. And
in the practicum.
Yeah, and I just wonder, there were things that you were very adamant about with Oscar in terms of the not letting him pick up his stuff.
Yeah.
At this stage in his life, do you still feel as if that made a difference? Are you still feeling passionate about that, or is it just it seemed like it worked at the time? I don't know if it I wouldn't give that advice to anyone else. Now that it's in the past.
Right. Yeah. Funny you should ask.
Okay. Do tell.
He's mischievous, and he's a little...
Is he past the punching?
Not really.
Okay. Still punching.
He is very much a little Randall Patrick McMurphy.
Okay.
And that only occurred to me just now.
Uh-huh.
By whom I mean Jack Nicholson's character in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Got it.
He's crazy like a fox. You know what I mean? Like he knows what he's doing.
Yep.
He'll get the chief to talk. He's one-way ticket to Lobotomy City.
Yeah.
No, but Fudging is a very interesting kid on a number of levels. And funny you should mention the thing where I wouldn't hand him back things he dropped.
Yeah.
I actually, honestly, I swear to God, think that had a positive bearing on his way through the world.
Okay.
In terms of power dynamics and understanding that here's my personal view of children.
Yeah.
Of young children before toddlers, like 0 to 2.
Yeah.
Is that the name of the game? There are two names of the game. One is frustration management.
Okay.
And the
As
other
a parent.
as a parent, and the like teach the kid you don't manage their frustration. You teach them to manage their own frustration.
I see.
And B is when shit, I lost it. Frustration management and come on brain, you can do it. It's gone. It'll come back.
When they encounter a problem, I don't know. I'm starting. I'm
You
doing a story starter for you.
Thank you. You don't solve it for them. You acknowledge their emotions, make their emotions feel totally natural, and just live through the emotions with them. But that's not what my point was. Fuck, it's
I
gone.
don't know what your point was. Frustration management.
Yeah, it's really shit. It's gone. Oh well.
To me, frustration management means letting them feel okay with being frustrated.
Yes.
Like it's just not tamping things down.
Yeah, and not being like it's okay.
Yeah.
And not solving it for them.
Totally.
Not being a lawnmower parent.
Yes.
I was editing this video. Speaking of my video editing, and it was about these kids. It was about this thing called. And there's a part, I can't remember if I even included it. I think I couldn't include this in the final cut because it kind of broke my heart too much.
Okay.
But this is a program where these like young not teens, they're like early 20s, whatever. They come and they hang out with preschool kids and like teach them to read and ABCs and some other nonsense. Anyway, and they come once a week to this particular program, and then they're leaving. It's the end of the day, and they're singing the goodbye song, and one of the little girls starts crying, and she's really sad, and she's just sort of simmering and like trying to hold the tears in, and they're very hot coming down her face. And one of the core members comes over to her and is like, don't cry, it's okay, don't cry.
Ooh,
don't
nope.
cry.
Stop
and I was
that.
like, oh, don't stop
Yes,
it, stop.
I hate it.
Let her cry.
Yes.
And I was so like
100%.
and I was like, oh, what are
That's
they?
America. America teaches that.
Yeah.
Like like Eli's daycare. They always do that. Like, and it's manic. It's like,
manic.
it tells me more about the teacher than
Yes.
it does about the child.
Yeah.
It's like that you're not comfortable with tears.
Right, exactly.
And kids cry all the fucking time.
Nothing dries faster than a
You're
child's
okay.
tears.
Don't say you're okay.
You're
Like,
right.
how do you
You're
know
not
they're
okay
okay?
right now?
They're not okay right now.
And it's
like,
okay to be not okay.
yeah, and you don't have to be fucking touchy-feely. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, I really like that's
Yeah,
that's
let me
horrible. What
compose
happened
a
to you?
choreo tone
Like,
poem.
yeah, it's not that. It's just like you're not fucking getting anywhere except
Right.
teaching them to like repress
Yeah.
their feelings.
And the kid, and like this kid who is trying to get the child to stop crying was obviously also uncomfortable. Just sitting there and not moving. Don't cry. Don't cry.
Ugh.
Don't cry.
Ugh.
And it was pretty horrible to watch.
Ugh.
But before I was a parent, I would have been like, yeah, don't cry. Yeah, get 'em.
Right. Get tough. That's what you're teaching them.
But in fact, that's completely wrong.
Well, because the thing that we learn as parents, Brendan, and I don't know what segment. I feel like we've moved beyond one toe in the cool. I have a toe. I should probably just do my toe. Maybe I'll do my toe.
Do your toe. Well, yeah. What do you got? What's going on?
But
and
I would-
and then we'll back into this, which would be kids are more important now.
Okay, I would like to say one more thing about this. Maybe we don't know. Do you have kids are more important now?
Only that I'm about to spend more time with Oscar, so we kind of already covered it. We kind of eased on into it. So
Well-
let's just be in it now.
Let's just be in it real quick, and then I'll do my one toe. Because I feel like this is very important. This is a very important topic. Is the allowing children to like feel whatever they're feeling, and not shaming them or like not kicking it out of them. Because I think the important thing is, and you've read this book on brain development. Sarah's all about brain development among the toddler set. Like I feel like we when we do these strategies, like don't cry, everything's okay. What we're doing is we're treating them like equals, as if their brain is capable of handling that.
Right.
But they hear a completely different message than we're trying to convey.
Yeah.
We're trying to convey, you have agency. You're a creature of reason. You can understand that everything is okay, but they can't understand that at that age.
Right.
So like that, the message that they're getting is you are bad for feeling bad right now.
Right. And not only are you now feeling bad, you're also now feeling confused.
Exactly. It's just adding insult to injury.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if they just cry and you say, all you have to do is say, oh man, yeah, that sucks. That's sad. Like that kid just stole your ball. That sucks.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Did that make you feel sad?
Yeah. That suck. Yeah, that sucks.
Are you frustrated right now?
And they move on.
Yeah.
They move on.
They move on so much faster.
There's no reason for it. It's
if
just
they just feel heard.
Yeah, exactly. It's just wasted words to try to make them feel better. They're not going to feel better.
Yeah. Make someone feel better doesn't even make sense.
You can't do that. You can't
make someone feel anything.
No.
If you're in a play and you're an actor and you're playing a role, yes, try and make your scene partner feel something.
Right. Or if you're a wife and your husband needs a blowjob.
And it's a birthday that ends in a 5 or a 0.
That is something you can do.
I remember the thing that I forgot.
Oh, good.
Here's
Perfect.
the other thing.
I'm glad we kept going with this.
Power dynamics
Okay.
is the other issue. So, there's a movement among parents these days to empower children.
Yeah.
And I think that is a fucking terrible idea.
Okay.
Because
Do tell.
it makes them feel like, holy shit, if I'm in charge of this, what else am I going to be placed in charge of? I'm not qualified. And then they panic and then they lose their fucking minds. And so like if you say, so this goes back to like feeding on demand and sleeping on demand, which I am very much against.
Okay.
In my opinion, the kid is born and they sleep when you tell them to, and they eat when you decide they will. And then they know those fundamental amygdala-driven tasks are taken care of by somebody else, and they can just focus on being a kid.
Okay.
But if they're like, oh, I get emotional and cry, and then I'm fed, and I get emotional and cry and I'm put in my bed,
Sure.
or like I fall asleep randomly.
Message.
It's a terrible message because they're like, oh my God, I'm the president of the world and I just got here.
Right.
I don't know any of the rules yet.
Right.
So you are
Because
like,
they are going to have to break out of those rules eventually.
yes.
They're going to have to learn that they do not get fed on demand.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So you're just prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And or like you get to the front of the line in the cafe and they're like, what do you want? 19-month-old who can barely speak. And
Right.
they're like, the window. You can't eat windows. What do you want? And the kid's like, oh my God, everyone behind me is waiting. I'm losing my mind.
Wait, what's this scenario? Did you just invent a scenario of some like 19-month-old cafe in which the children are like ordering?
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So you're in a cafe and it's you're in line. You fucking know what you want and
Me
it's your
at my
lunch break.
age?
Yeah, you at your age. You're in line. You're second in line behind a mommy.
That's just LA though.
I know. And her
Comments.
19-month-old who finally gets to the front of the line after Instagramming every inch of her child's skin.
Yeah.
And then is like, what do you want, honey? To a fucking bag of electric impulses that doesn't even know it's alive.
Well, listen. That's irritating, but that's a LA Spike Club. Is that I feel like people who fucking stand in line for 10 minutes and don't even bother to look at the menu the entire time.
Yeah,
And then
because
they
they're
get to the
chap
counter.
snatting themselves like into oblivion.
Yeah, chat snap yourself.
And fucking so when you say that to a child, what do you want? The child wants to feel safe. So hand them what they'll be eating right now.
yeah.
And that lasts until they decide it's over. Like you
Okay.
know what I mean? Like you
Sure.
don't you don't give them a field promotion because everyone around them is dead, because then they'll charge everyone off a cliff, and they know they will.
I don't know if I'm with your metaphor on this one, but well, let's keep going.
So they're not in charge. They are private
child is not
third
in
classes.
charge.
The child, for fuck's sake, is not in charge. The parent is in charge, and the
And the
child
child-
wants the parent to be in charge.
Exactly. The child does not want to be.
They just want to have their childhood. They don't want to make adult decisions like what I'm eating and when I'm sleeping.
It's true. Boundaries are important. For all of us.
Yeah, and structure and etc. So anyway, when
And feeling
Oscar
like
would
your
drop,
mom and dad are can take care
have
of
got this, yeah. And so when Oscar would drop something,
you. Yeah.
if I handed it back to him, then suddenly he'd be like, "Oh, I dropped this," and he hands it back. Oh, I'm his boss. But if I'm his boss, I'm gonna forget to tell him to not forget me somewhere because I can't walk yet. And then,
Well, okay.
and then he'll be like, "Oh fuck."
Wait,
So this guy
now
works
now
for
he's
me.
driving an Uber. What's
I have
happening?
an employee.
What's happening here? I totally missed this whole scenario.
Okay, so
Okay.
If he drops something and I hand it back to him, I'm
Yes.
his employee. And if he
Right.
has an employee who walks that and he can't walk,
Yeah.
and I carry him places,
Okay.
he has to then therefore constantly remember to tell me to remember him when we're leaving a restaurant or something like that. And so by crying and having an episode and staying on my radar screen because I'm the blaster and he's the master in the master blaster.
Okay, but
metaphor.
to you, this is all the picking things up when he drops them. All of this stuff that you're describing is attached to that simple action.
Yeah.
That simple action determines this entire
Yeah. If he drops
world.
things and I'm like, well, you dropped it.
Right.
He lives in a world that has very clear rules.
It's an interesting philosophy. Let me ask you, Brendan. This is something we've been kicking around for a while, or I have anyway. Would you be interested while you're in Malaysia in writing the Dad Jeans Guide to Parenting? Okay.
Yes, I would. I don't know how much free time I'm going to have, but fuck yeah, baby.
Well, you just told me you had nothing but free time.
I'm look, man.
You're just like, I got other things that I'm
not
doing.
a man of leisure.
You're the nice.
I've got my
No,
horses.
you're nice guy in me. You're nice guy in me right now.
Nice guy. And you. No, I'm totally
You're
into it.
nice-o.
No, that's actually something I was totally thinking about doing.
You just heard it on. You heard it on the air, ladies and gentlemen.
It just reminds me of a story.
I was thinking about that. Oh, sure, I'd love to do that. Just have your people call me my people. Set something up.
Jeff,
Yes.
all I'm going to do is write while I'm there. Fuck yeah, baby. We're doing this thing. Here's what else.
You have your own project in mind, though, don't you?
I do have another project in mind, but that
knew
doesn't
it.
matter.
I knew it.
Do you know how much time I have to write? Because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to drop Oscar off at the gates of Legoland at 8
gates of
a.m.
hell.
And I'll be like, be here at 5.
I'm sure they like
Here's a sandwich.
you can send them out with your personal dishwalla for the day.
Yep.
Your dishwalla will be taking Oscar.
That's true.
Have we even done a segment? What are we in? One toe in the cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
which became kids are more important.
Keep going.
I have a friend who was an au pair briefly for a ridiculously rich family, and she was walking down the grand staircase at one point while the matriarch of the family was on the phone with her own mother. And
Walking down the grand stairway, like a Sunset Boulevard style.
yep,
Okay.
long train.
Ready for her
And
close-up.
she was overhearing the mother of this family on the phone, and the mother was on the phone with the mother's own mother, and this is the excerpt of the quote that she heard of the conversation. Was this woman saying, "Mother, I am not a woman of leisure. I have my horses."
I feel like you've told that story on
Have I?
Jeans before.
That's
But it's a fantastic quote.
Hashtag eat the rich.
Yeah, there you go. I'm on team that.
Yep.
Team that.
Team that.
Okay. I'm going to do my... I'm not going to do my one toe. It's not that cool.
Is it a urine Malaysia cool?
Okay, it's actually really cool. So, when I was growing up in Clio, Michigan, we had some neighbors down the hill a little bit. The Petrinkos.
You lived on a hill?
I lived at the top of a hill.
You did?
Yeah.
How high was the hill?
And it was just an incline, really.
Was it more of a dale?
Yeah, let's say a dale.
Okay.
But the road went up the hill.
I see.
And down the hill if one were walking as the crow flies, probably a football field's distance away, was the home of the Petrenkos. Alex Petrenko, the dad,
Sounds
in the
ethnic.
family, yes, Czechoslovakian. And Alex Petrenko swam away from Czechoslovakia.
Shut up.
when
During
it was
the
becoming
occupation?
communist,
Shut up.
because he was an Olympic swimmer.
No.
He was an Olympic bronze medalist. And so he
Alone?
How do you mean alone?
Like the Russian tanks are rolling in, and he's like happens to be near the beach, and he just like chucks his cell phone and wallet and dives in, and off he goes.
That I don't know. I don't even know what body of water he would have swum across from
Yeah, let me
Czechoslovakia.
think. I've been there. Oh, the Danube.
There you go. He swam across the blue Danube. The song was actually written about him. But he escaped to freedom and moved to Clio, Michigan to become an insurance salesman.
Well, every Czech's dream.
And his daughter, Sasha, was my sister's best friend.
Let me ask you this: was she pretty?
She was 4. So I don't I can't really tell you.
Is she pretty now?
We're getting to that. So she, no, I'm sorry. I was 4. She was probably 7.
Oh, okay.
But she'd been my sister's best friend all through grade school. All through, we were their neighbors. They were the coolest family. They were like this Czechoslovakian family. Her brother was black. Never explained. Just black. Just a black brother somehow. Somehow they got a black brother out of the mix. That's what happens in Czechoslovakia. We didn't know. We lived in Clio, Michigan.
It's just the unbearable lightness of being.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in there. What somehow that communist.
Yeah.
There was some mojo in the air that year, I guess. But they were the coolest, artsiest, punkest family in Clio, Michigan. And we were their neighbors. They were Clio's hidden secret. No one else knew them.
Fabulous.
Just us. And when my sister was probably 8, I was 5, the Petrenkos moved to California. Never to be seen again.
I see. So he was running some sort of insurance scam.
Maybe. I mean, H&R Block or...
I've heard of it.
Pardon me. Or, no, I'm sorry. I don't know. What are the national, like Allstate?
Arbella.
Maybe he was doing some Allstate, like underground things. That was why he...
AIG. Tank and AIG.
Yeah. He didn't swim to California this time. They went the proper way. But with the advent of Facebook and the newspapers and whatnot, with the advent of Facebook and the newspapers, my sister caught up with Sasha several years ago, and they've been friends, I think, on Facebook, and she's kind of followed her life. Sasha turned into an artist living in the Bay Area.
I see.
A couple of months ago, she sends out a message on Facebook. Does anyone know anyone in Altadena? Because I'm going to be doing a project at the Los Angeles Arboretum.
What?
And I need a place to stay.
Oh my God. Wait, is there an arboretum in Altadena?
There is. Well, not in Altadena, in Arcadia.
Okay, go on.
It's fucking incredible.
Arboretums are amazing if you like trees.
This Arboretum is... It's astonishing.
Oh, yeah. Or if in my case you like to hump trees.
This is the place to do it, man.
Yeah, and those notch holes.
Yeah, lots of notch holes up in this piece. I was checking out some pretty hot notch holes this weekend.
Hot notch holes would be this episode.
Okie doke. I gotta write that down. Hot notch holes.
Oh God,
that's so good. They just come to us, these titles. I don't know how it happens.
Bolts from the blue.
So anyway, Mandy gives her my number and she texts me and we're like, we arranged a meeting point, and she came Friday night. This woman who I have not seen since I was 5 years old.
Oh, holy shit.
Who is nevertheless loomed large in our collective identity as a Dinsmore family, because they were the glimpse at the other side that we saw in Clio, Michigan.
Oh yeah,
We were like,
you had literal bohemians
yes,
down the hill.
They were literal bohemians. We were like, that is what is happening out there in the world.
And she became she went from being a literal bohemian to a figurative bohemian.
Being a nationally ranked skier in between those times.
Whoa.
She became a nationally ranked skier.
Bohemian to Boskemian,
and
back to
then-
Bohemian.
Boskemian. Oh, they're rolling off the tongue tonight. And so then she becomes this artist. And this weekend at the LA Arb, she was part of this show where like 20 different artists took parts of the Arb and transformed them using digital landscapes. Like they had like lasers, they had like widescreen TVs, they had projections. So like everyone had their own little exhibit.
I love that
in the
shit.
Arb. I love it. I love it when you're just like walking from one environment to the next.
Oh.
Love it.
Yeah.
So we went to that, and then she came back, caught up with us. Her brother, incidentally, adopted.
So the mystery
black
solved.
brother.
Yeah.
Mystery solved. Parents refused to admit it until he was 30 years old. And he was finally like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I am a black person.
I'm not Czech.
You are white. I am black. What's happening? And they're like, okay, you're adopted. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
So H-core.
Exactly. So anyway, I reconnected with this old friend, and she was just lovely, just awesome person, and like new people that we knew in the art world. Like, it was crazy that we had refound each other from across the country.
I love it.
It was great.
Bohemian schemians.
Let's go to Advise Me Bro
Oh,
real quick, because we've got the Brian L. Perkins question,
okay.
and then we'll whip through Spike Club and Fatherly
Perfectly fine.
because it's getting late.
Okay, here we go.
Advise me, bro. Cause I just gotta know. I got a motherfucking problem and you gotta show. Advise me, bro.
Hello, Dad Jeans. This is Brian L. Perkins from Oakland.
Have you heard this?
Long-time listener. I got an Advise Me Bro question, which is this. What do you think about, and how do you handle the people that come to your door with the magazine subscriptions? Trying to get you to sign up for magazine subscriptions. I think you know what I'm talking about. And I want to hear what you think, what you do, what your opinions and theories are. Thank you.
Apparently, American Honey is about this, the movie. And Emily
really?
Emily and I co-hate every movie that ever comes out except for A Separation, which was Iranian. And American Honey is about these kids who sell magazine subscriptions. And
Supposed to be good,
she
right?
went and saw it, and she was like, it is a revelation. It is transcendent. She also knows the editor, but nonetheless was like, because that always, dampens one's hate.
Yeah.
But she was like, it is one of the best films I've seen in years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And what's his name is in it, who now I can't hate. I just
Ryan
can't hate that
Seacrest.
guy. Yeah, Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, isn't that young Indiana Jones?
Judd Hirsch or whatever his
Judd
name is.
Apatow.
Judge Reinhold.
Ryan.
Judd Nelson.
Yeah.
Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan
Gosling.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling.
Ryan
No, the art guy, right?
Priebus.
He Ryan Priebus. Oh, right, young Ryan Priebus. I understand he's good.
Fuck's that guy's name? Everyone knows what we're talking about. Oh, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. That's who it is.
There you go.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, he's in it. No, I read. I did research on this actually a few years ago because these people. I don't know if this is a national phenomenon or if this is only in big cities or if this is only in Los Angeles, but we would get people coming to our door like once a week, very often we would get these teenagers coming to our door, and their spiel is always like, hey, I don't know if you've heard about this program happening at the local local high school here, but it's for these, we're trying to buy new
Like uniforms.
jerseys for our school basketball team, and I'm blah blah. That, or they're from some local organization that is like helping Boys and Girls Club or something, like helping wayward teens, and if you just like write us a check for a magazine subscription.
Bullshit.
And I looked it up, and I was always like, what is this fucking deal? Like, why is this, if this is a scam, why hasn't anyone stopped it?
Yeah.
And if it isn't a scam, then like, how is it like just in LA, there happens to be a magazine drive every fucking week at some local high school,
Yeah.
So what the reality is that there are kids from all over the country, like they're basically runaway teens who they will like, there's an organization that will attract these teenagers and be like, hey, do you need a job? And then they end up like driving to neighborhoods and like sending them around the neighborhood for like penny, they'll get a penny every subscription they sell or whatever.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And they're all like meth addicted and they just want the next hit kind of deal.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just know that there's a lot of runaways. Like there are organizations that prey on these kids, and that like
That's
so
infuriating.
in answer to your question, Brian, what I started doing when these kids came to my door is I would say to them, listen, I totally respect what you got to do what you got to do, but do you need help? Like if you need help, you can come in right now and like use my phone, like whatever. If I'm happy to like help you get out of this. I don't know what's going on, how you ended up selling these magazines, but you're welcome to like, I'm here to help you however you need help.
That is incredibly Christian of you.
Cheers. Thank you. And what happens more often than not is that they'll just give me this like look like, oh shit, like what do I do?
Right.
And then they'll just be like,
they're being seen.
I'm getting out of here. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Like an avatar. I see you.
Yeah. But like, it's, I'm like, okay, so maybe that pitch that I'm delivering is like putting them on the spot somehow. They're like scared, cause like they like,
and
more
found
often
out.
than not, these people who are coming to your door are not from your like local high school selling magazines.
Right.
They're from somewhere else. Something is going on. It's great. Like it's actually like when I started investigating this, like the stories that have been written on this phenomenon they're harrowing. And how this is just happening in America.
How any scams keep happening. This is what blows my mind. But this is unfettered capitalism in the free market.
I guess that's it. I mean, like you can take advantage. Like you can be that company, and I think these companies are operating legitimately. It's not like there are no lawsuits against them or anything. They're just like, I mean, we're the company who like takes wayward teens and gets them to sell magazine subscriptions.
That's just this side of
our business model.
The law.
Yeah.
I think. Well, there's your answer. I think start where the rubber meets the road, Brian, and have available printouts of the Communist Manifesto.
No, come on,
and hand to them and stop capitalism where it starts.
Come on, you're getting too high and mighty.
Fuck this bullshit.
These kids need to fucking get out of the van.
They need to get out of the van.
They need to get out of the van.
And into
they don't need to
the
become
warm
communists.
embrace of Marxian thought.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Marxists.
You're gonna turn them off.
I know. Well, you could start talking about the petty bourgeoisie.
I think you do what I do because ignore Brendan's advice. Do what I do because you don't really actually have to do anything, but you feel so much better about yourself. Just tell them, hey, I want to help you. And then if they refuse it, then, that's their decision. But it's all about you feeling good, Brian.
That's true. That is true.
It's all about you feeling like a good human being.
Do your parents know where you are right now?
Don't bring up their parents, for Christ's sake. Okay. They hate those fuckers.
I know. What about this? Does your aunt know where you are right now? Because who has like a nasty aunt that touched them? Don't say uncle, obviously. But like... Who's your favorite aunt?
I think what you do, here's what you do. You knock all their materials out of their hand.
Yeah, go on. I like this.
And then you refuse to pick it up.
And you're like, 52 pickup. And then you drop a bunch of playing cards on top of their
I'm just
heads.
saying, they never got that lesson that Oscar got as a child.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
They know, they think someone's going to pick that shit up for them.
Yeah.
But you're like, this is how life works.
Yeah.
And then they're like, as they're bending to pick them up,
no
they're
one picks
like,
up your shit.
Holy shit, no one picks up my shit. I got to go back to mom and dad.
I know, but that is actually the reverse. I mean, right here they are having a job Sure, they've been had, and they're
Okay, they're
working for
doing
nothing.
they're doing all right for themselves.
And so, like, what we're saying is, like, no one picks up your shit, so go back to where people pick up your shit. It's sort of a weird message.
Brendan, I'm no expert. I'm deprogramming.
Deprogramming. I had some friends in high school who had to be deprogrammed.
What?
Yeah.
From what?
It was something called the Boston Church of Christ.
And it was a cult? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah.
The Boston Church of Christ. That sounds very
That's what
innocuous.
it was called. And it was a bunch of like kids in my high school were kind of like into it, and they would have these big meets or whatever,
Like
and
the
be totally
Wave?
nuts. And then like their parents would have them abducted by this like organization that drove around in a van and
Sure.
like yanked them off the street and deprogrammed them for 2 weeks.
Did you ever see Mercy?
Yeah,
May
Martha
Marlene
Marcy
or
May
whatever?
Marlene.
Yeah,
It's fucking great.
that movie's incredible.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
For our listeners who haven't seen it, it's about a woman who gets involved in a cult, and it's what's her name? The youngest
Twin from the Olsens.
The
youngest
youngest
Olsen
Olsen.
twin.
But she's not the twin. Yeah. She's the sister of the twins.
Zelda Olsen.
Sure, let's say. But she's a great actress.
She's a wonderful actress. Very dark.
Yeah.
Has known pain.
Shall we move on? Have we answered Brian L.
She had to watch her
Perkins' question?
twin sisters
Eat
become
each other in the womb. Yeah, that was horrible.
I had occasion to meet one of the Olsen twins.
Did you?
And it was we met twice, 3 days apart.
What?
Mary Kate, maybe?
Was she the skinniest thing you'd ever seen in your life?
I mean, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Was she pretty?
I don't go. I like a peasant. You know what I'm
You
saying?
like Zaftig.
I like Zaftig. But so she wasn't my
I
speed.
like my women Zaftig. That's a Vorhorse song.
Where it's all Yiddish.
like
It's
my
sort of like
women
half Yiddish, half
Zaftig.
English. Yiglish.
I gotta say,
Yidglish.
in the Vorhorst material that I've been creating so far, I've been real nervous about revealing their preference for men or women.
Well, I think they're pansexual
I think they are pansexual. Yeah,
and panflutual.
yeah, you're right.
They could have a song about being pansexual that's all on pan flute.
When I first moved to Los Angeles, one of the first things I did was we knew this guy who knew about the desert hot springs. He knew about some like
Oh yeah, the 1 a.m. things.
no, some place that you could just like go at any time of the day.
Oh,
But it was like,
it's like
out,
toxic
out in the
waste.
desert, and you had to like no. It was very natural hot springs or whatever, but it was some secret hippie hot spring or something. So we had, and it was clothing optional, and so we had this friend like
Life is clothing optional.
took
my
us.
friend.
Well, that's true. Take us out into the desert, and he navigated his way like 3 miles into the desert, and we found this hot springs. And the first thing we see as we chance upon these hot springs is a 60-year-old hippie with a long white beard and white dreadlocks, totally naked, playing the pan flute.
Jeff,
And
that
it was the most LA thing I'd ever seen.
that wasn't a 60-year-old hippie, my friend.
That was you?
That was Cocapelli.
Oh, that was Cocapelli himself.
Wait, I just remembered. I was
hot.
So Mary Kate Olsen
Yeah.
and I shake hands.
Yes.
I'm Brendan. I'm Mary
And you
Kate.
snapped her arm off.
Basically, I did
shaking it.
feel her bones crunching.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. Nice to
Yep.
meet you.
Yep.
Blah blah blah.
Yep.
And then a lot of life happens in 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days later, we happen to be in the same room again, and I'm like, I'll do her a solid. She doesn't remember me. She meets a million people a day.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Brendan. She's like, I know. I remember. We met the other day. And I was like, oh.
How about that? And how did this even come about?
Oh, it was on Weeds when I worked on Weeds.
Oh, I see.
And she was really nice.
All right. I'm sure she is.
And the Rotzi was around.
Not a life. What a life.
What a life.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Spike Club?
Let's move on to Spike Club, Jeff.
I don't really have anything. I've got nothing more for the rest of the night.
All right, I'll take it from here.
Okay.
I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Spy Club! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Spy Club! Fuck!
I've actually got something.
You son of a bitch.
I knew it. No, go ahead. I do have something, though. No, you can keep talking. That's fine. when you get a chance, when you stop talking, for fuck's sake, you loud fucking blathering motherfucker, I will say what I have to say. But just whenever you're done talking, I'm patient. Go ahead. Jesus, for fuck's sake.
I have 2 spite clubs.
Okay.
Because I can't decide which one.
Yeah.
Jeff, I feel like I do all the talking and I just I'm a blowhorn and I dominate.
Untrue.
And everyone is sick of my voice.
Untrue.
Really? I don't talk
Untrue.
enough and I should talk more? Okay.
I think that every time I hear my own voice on the podcast, I fade. I fall asleep.
Really? Oh, no.
You've got a nice energy to you.
No. You are strong bad and I'm Homestar Runner.
Okay. I'm so low key.
You are very low key.
Fucking Adam. I'm that friend.
You're that friend.
What, Adam Overton? No.
Adam Overtone?
What? Who's Ross? I'm Ross.
I can't decide between my 2
You're
spites.
Phoebe.
One is non-profitese.
Do tell.
I edit these videos.
Okay.
And I deal sometimes with, I get the clients, etc. My sister's graphic design concern in Boston is quite successful, my sister and brother-in-law.
Awesome.
And they get lots and lots of work from the public sector.
Okay.
And so they kicked me some work, and I love that, and I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah.
And they're Dad Jeans listeners on top of all that.
Oh, my goodness.
And
I need work.
Jeff is a good copywriter.
You ever need to write anything?
And here's the thing. Sometimes we get these write-ups of, this video is going to be about this or that.
Okay.
And today I was sort of dealing with that. And I got a memo of the arc of this video should be this. And as I was reading through it, I swear to God.
Triomphe.
What?
De Triomphe.
De Triomphe. Yep, that's the
arc
one.
should be
that
de
would be
Triomphe?
the arc, yeah.
Okay.
That would be easier than what I got because I got a thing that I felt like almost all of it was nonprofit buzzwords, like key indicators and silo, and it was just it read stereo instructions, and it was these and high level strategic decision making leverage, and it's
that's what you're accomplishing with your video.
and then I have to turn that into a video, and it was almost impossible to even read a 1-page treatise because it was so filled with these buzzwords.
Can I tell you a secret of someone who has gone through gobbledygook in his time?
Yes.
Is that those are the people who you just do anything for, and then they're happy.
Okay, that actually helps a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was I found this thing literally indecipherable.
Well, because they're so unaware of what they want that they create a document that is indecipherable. So therefore, you just have to guide them. That's
right.
your job.
So yeah, because your
job is to
truly
tell
was
them that what you have
I had to get
fits whatever they're
straight up
asking you for.
rabbinical on this shit.
Oh, yeah.
It was rabbinic. It was rabbi school.
What does that
I was
mean?
what I mean by that, I'm the only one who uses that phrase. But what I mean is, you're given a text that could mean anything, and you argue about it for 8 years, and then you're a rabbi.
Okay. So you had to introduce him to Yahweh? Is that what you're saying?
Basically. That's not even my spite club, though. I'm revising. This is my spite. No, it's not
get
nonprofits. It's this.
Get in there.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Sometimes, okay, you're a nice guy. This goes back. Oh, this is good. This goes back to Mark. This is a nice guy thing.
Yep.
Sometimes you befriend people who are. There's some people in the world. Have you ever known someone like
Miscreants?
this? Yeah, miscreants.
Yeah.
No.
I love them.
Maybe. Have you ever known someone who just needs to have an enemy at all times?
Women. You mean every woman I've ever met? She's giving me she's giving me dirty looks. That thing. I was just talking to Sarah about this the other day. Remember that? In high school, your high school girlfriend, someone was always giving them dirty looks.
Giving them the stink eye.
But I never got a dirty look in my life. What the fuck is a dirty look?
Dirty looks.
Yeah.
I know. But
you're too aware of your surroundings.
No, but Jeff, we live, there are two worlds. There are two earths. One is the one men occupy, and the other is the one women occupy. The one women occupy, we will never understand.
Sure.
And they occupy it's like they can see 256 colors, and we can see 12 colors.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That's basically how it works.
That's probably
So,
true. I'm happy to see my.
there
12
may even
colors.
have been a
This
stink eye.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, it's
when
a
it
little
comes to
easier
not
saying
thinking that
12
people are giving you dirty looks. All
I know
the
we
time.
live in an 8-bit world, and they live in a 64-bit world.
That's fine, man. Fucking Mario Brothers is so good. So good.
I know.
So-
no. These can be anybody, but like there are some people. There is an archetype
Yeah.
that is someone who like just always kind of has an enemy, and
Yes.
they're like
No, I
that
get
they're
it.
stewing on.
Sure.
And so you, as a nice guy, when you befriend these people, and they can often be very compelling people.
Well, that's a form of insanity, though. I know people who do that. Like the world is against me, someone is against me. That's paranoia. That's paranoia.
It
It's not
could be
reality.
described as paranoia.
No one gives a shit about no one gives a shit about you. No one gives a shit about
I know.
you.
Ultimately,
If you think people give a shit about you, then you have some sort of mental instability.
that's straight up like, yeah.
Sorry.
No one is giving a shit. I know.
Keep
It's
going.
true.
Yeah.
We are not, in fact, all in your movie.
No.
That person who you think is your enemy actually doesn't think about you at all.
Yes.
Remember in Mad Men in the last episode when the little sort of the kid is on the elevator with Donnie Draper, and he's like, "I feel bad for you" to Donnie Draper,
No.
and Donnie Draper's response is, "I don't think about you at all."
No. In the
And
last
it's
episode of Mad
such a
Men.
burn. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
It's the best comeback of all time. If someone is like, "I feel bad for you,"
It was a little kid.
not
Or
a
was
little
it
kid,
Glenn?
but it was like one of the guys who work. Not Glenn, but it was like one of the guys who works at the.
Oh, I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, I don't think about you at all. Is the worst burn,
That is good. I know. No, it's true. It's
but
true.
it's also, frankly, the most truth.
It's better to not care about the other person.
And here's what else. Do you remember the first episode of Mad Men when he's hanging out with what's her name, who's so wonderful? You know who I'm talking about, Joe Beth Williams, or whatever the fuck her name is. Anyway, he's got
His mistress.
yeah.
Okay.
Who's like the bohemian.
She is wonderful. That big
Speaking of
nose.
bohemians,
Yeah.
lovely
she's,
gal. She's really good friends with Sarah Paulson and
The
Liz
Wedding.
Racer.
She's that horrible wedding movie. She
Yeah,
is
Rachel
the
Getting Married.
bride.
She's Rachel. She's the titular character in Rachel Getting
Exactly.
Married. Yeah. She's
Yeah,
great.
She is great.
She's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Tell me more about her.
Anyway, so Donnie Draper comes. So she's the bohemian with all her bohemian West Village
Bohemian.
friends. Bohemian,
Yeah.
as Stephen Wright said on the
Yes.
soundtrack of Reservoir Dogs,
Reservoir
which
Dogs,
was
exactly.
filmed in Highland Park.
Oh God, I gotta watch it again.
So
I
do
didn't
you know the scene? I'm sorry, we're 3 levels down now. But do you know the scene when Tim Roth is running down the street and then he gets in a shootout with the cops?
Probably.
That's right outside Cafe de Leche.
Huh?
On
Really?
York Street.
What
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Okay. One level back out from that. Sarah Paulson. It's not Sarah Paulson, though. It's not Jo Beth Williams. It's what's her name? Who also played Louis C.K.'s mother in the first season of Louis. Come on, Brendan. You can do this. You can do this.
You don't need her name.
You don't need her name. Oh, and Donnie Draper says to I'll back all the way out of this. Donnie Draper says to the hippie, he's like, "Oh, you're an ad man, so you're just telling everyone a big corporate lie, blah, 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 blah." And Donnie Draper's response is, "There is no big lie. The universe is indifferent."
Yeah.
Pilot episode.
Okay.
Okay, now we back out further again.
Yeah.
To I forget what the fuck I was talking about. Oh yeah, people who need an enemy. So there are people who need an enemy, right? And you as a nice guy, they'll be like, they'll have some enemy and like they'll enlist you, and then you're a nice guy, so you're like, "Oh, okay, I'll torpedo my relationship with that person because you're awesome and you're my friend." And then you dutifully torpedo your own relationship with the person they've decided is their friend.
Yeah.
Fast forward months later, and then you're like, you still think you've torpedoed your relationship with that person, and then you're like, you complain about them, and this person who needs an enemy has long since abandoned that, and they're friends with their old enemy again. But you operate differently when you're enemies, or when the shit breaks, it's just broken from then on.
Sure.
And so then they're still broken in your mind, and it's like you sever the tie.
But
So
you have no agency in any of this.
Well, I'm just a nice guy. I know.
Okay.
But I know, totally, I know. I could have stood up to them and been like, "No, they're not bad." But instead, I dutifully was like, "Yeah."
Okay, but do you want to go?
I'll just finish the story.
Okay.
So then you like make a remark, and they're like, and then they defend the person that they originally enlisted you to be enemies with.
Okay.
And you're like, "What? What
Okay.
the fuck?" And this has happened to me many times in my life, and I fucking hate that. And I hate it when people who need an enemy enlist me, and I'm a nice guy, and I hate conflict, so I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll hate him too, but I did kind of like him before, but whatever." And
Right.
then they move on because that makes me so mad, Jeff. And that's my spike club. That's my spike club.
You just need to stay above the fray, man.
Wish I could.
I think the subtext, what's happening here in this story is that you work with a woman who got pissed off at another woman, and like then you just decide like she somehow enlisted you.
This is not a workplace intrigue. I promise you.
Listen. I love women as much as the next guy. This drama is not a male drama.
You're saying this doesn't happen among men?
I don't believe it happens among men. The scenario you're describing, I appreciate you for keeping it close to your chest. I think we can have our listeners call in and decide whether or not this is a male-female
This is a
situation.
good thing. Is this a gender disparity? Are there men? So the question becomes: are there men who kind of like need an enemy?
I don't. Maybe there are, but I don't think there are. I don't recall. They may need an enemy, but what they don't need is me backing them up in their enemy. Like if they have an enemy, then it's just like, I hate that fucking guy, but I don't know any. I've never had a male friend who came to me and was like, I hate that guy. Why don't you hate that guy with me? Let's hate that guy together.
Let me rack my brain here. I mean, for all we know, I could be talking about male friends who've done this to me.
You could be. I'm reading your subtext. It's very possible. I'm excited to hear the reality offline.
So are you proposing that it's women that enlist their friends into their own personal intrigues? Like if I were a guy and I was like, I fucking hate George Steinbrenner.
Sure.
Don't you hate George Steinbrenner?
I guess.
And then you would be, I guess.
Well, if it's that kind of thing, then of course I'm just like, yeah, that guy seems like a dick. Like I don't give a shit about George Steinbrenner. I have no problem just going along with the flow of conversation.
And I guess,
but what you're describing is a scene in which it's an active human in your life that you're having to like decide between.
Yeah, right.
And then you're going with one person, and then all of a sudden those people are friends, and you're like, wait, but I liked that guy too. But now,
it's too late because I've torpedoed. Yeah, that's okay.
I've spent so long. So I'm a freelancer. I haven't been involved in that drama. You're talking
This is not a workplace
It
drama.
has to be a workplace drama.
It could be another drama.
Can you just tell us what it is?
Well, it is a workplace drama, but from a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
It's from years ago. I was revisiting this like
This
long
person
ago
was a child.
memory.
You were children.
We were children.
You would never be involved in that now.
Well, sort of a workplace drama. It was in college, but it was like a work study thing.
College, come on.
But it was like, okay, I had a crush
College
on the
means
person.
nothing at this point.
It was college. It was a work study
Nicholas
situation.
Weiner maybe is listening to this with open ears. The rest of us.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, I was had.
I'm sorry. I hate those people too, Brendan.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. I need you to hate them too.
Yes, I do. I do.
Actually, I'm friends with them again now, so you're fucked.
Pepe the Frog. That's who you're talking about. I have a very quick spite club, but this is such a weird thing. Like, I was at the playground a couple of weeks ago. And there's this group of. It's a pretty big, like, park that we're in. I mean, not giant. It's like you can see the other end of it. It's not like Griffith Park or something where it's like, or Central Park or whatever. But like it's a decent sized park, and there are park benches everywhere, and there are covered park benches everywhere. But I'm sitting I take my kids to the park. I had the day off. They had the day off. Take them to the park, and there's a group of guys, like middle-aged guys, sitting at a table right next to the playground, drinking beers at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Ew.
And they just like had gotten off work or something. Like, I don't know, these were like late shift guys, or maybe they had the day off, or I don't know.
Trunk poppers who...
This was just something they did. Yeah, maybe they were about to go out in the bathroom and shag each other. I don't know.
Hey, man.
But my spite is that like I show up on the playground with my children. We're the only people with children in this area, and these guys didn't go to a different table. They just sat there at their table in the playground area while my kids are playing. Like, they don't have the decency to be like, oh, family stuff is happening here. This is the area where family stuff is supposed to happen. We're the odd element out. Maybe we should move to another table.
Right.
You know, they're just like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, there's some kids playing over there. What the fuck? You know, what are they doing?
We're partying.
This is our drinking table. Like, what are they doing?
Yes.
And I'm fuck you. Like, fuck you for not, like, you don't have to to pave the way for my children.
Mm-hmm.
I understand my children are living in a real world, but like, if there are a bunch of other tables, wouldn't you be more comfortable over there?
Instead of near screaming kids?
Instead of near screaming kids, like, yeah, my kids would be more comfortable. I would be more comfortable. You would be more comfortable.
Yeah.
Just move.
Yeah.
What is this standoff that
Yeah.
we're engaged in here?
Yeah. Of like the crushing real world of 10 a.m. drinking.
Yeah.
And
Right.
5-year-old dreams of a wonderful life.
Yeah, exactly. I'm having to navigate it. My kids don't give a fuck. They're just like, yeah,
They're drinking
what,
yellow soda.
That's what people do at the park, I guess. Like, they don't know. But I don't know. I'm sitting there uncomfortable the whole time. I just want people to look out for me every once in a while, Brendan.
Wouldn't that be nice? But guess
Would
what,
be
Jeff?
nice. No one does.
Guess why?
Why?
You're a man in your 40s.
I'm a man in my 40s.
No one gives a fuck. We are supposed to be completely intact.
Ah, it's so true.
Because frankly, we kind of are completely intact no matter how hard we try not to be.
I've only got one bullock.
Have you?
Nope. Let's move on to fatherly advice.
By the way,
Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice. Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice.
Let the record show that I have two bullocks.
it is shown.
And
Now,
never
a
mind
bullock,
them.
That is where the horse gets re-shoed, right?
Yeah, no, it's actually the British word for enlarged taint,
Lengthy taint.
floppy taint. is a
Jeffrey
bullock.
Dinsmore. You know, whenever I say your
Yeah.
name and you're not around, someone in the group just nods, closes their eyes, and says, "Lengthy taint,
Floppy taint.
lengthy
That
taint,
guy. Yes, exactly. That's what they call me.
lengthy taint." Dinsmore.
I'm drinking your last beer.
Please do. I think this is some of that like 6.8% alcohol by volume bullshits.
7.0. Good
Are you
call.
shitting me?
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
Listen
That
to
is
you.
irresponsible of me.
that's all right. I got nowhere to go.
I do.
Okay, fatherly advice. I've got one. I'll be real quick. Delete your digital photos as you import them.
That's really good advice.
Don't fucking sit. Don't let digital photos sit for months because you're gonna go through. You've got like 50 versions of one picture, and
Yes,
like
choose
only
the
one
best
of
one.
those is worth seeing.
curate your life.
Destroy all of the shitty ones the
Yeah.
minute you import them,
But
because
but
it'll be much faster.
I know it's so true,
Then
but
have to
our
go
age, like
back.
you paid through the nose for every fucking exposure on your Vivitar.
What's a Vivitar?
It was one of those. You remember those cameras that were like long and thin?
No,
No. Anyway, it's one of those.
like that you would flip open, like a flip phone kind of thing. You would flip it open.
Sorta, yeah. It was like one of those jobbies. Like they were super long. They were like the size of an ice cream bar.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Vivitar was what it was called.
Yeah. Well, that was
Interesting.
like one brand.
Okay. So that's it. That's all I got.
That's good.
Having to go through my my wife's old photos right now and delete, like, she's just got like pages upon pages of like people taking pictures of their own knees.
Oh, sure.
Like, what is it? You don't just get rid of that immediately?
Yeah,
No.
tell me about it.
No.
There's a whole subreddit called Sneaky Foot, which is pictures of people, like people put on eBay or whatever, of things that they're selling
Okay.
with like a little bit of their toe
Oh my god.
in the background,
I love that.
which is so good and really funny.
Sneaky foot.
Yeah.
Okay. Brendan, what's your Spike Club or fatherly advice for this week?
I think I've said it before, but it bears mentioning again. Floss in the shower.
Ooh, what?
Have I not said this before?
No.
This is
Well,
the
you don't-
original fatherly advice.
You don't throw your floss out in the shower, though.
I have those little plastic things.
Oh, okay.
But who has time to floss in their daily life?
I love it.
Nobody. But where does everyone love to be for a little bit
I love
longer?
to floss.
The shot. What?
Yep.
What's wrong with you?
No, I don't. But I do it every day at night, once.
Every day at night, once?
Yeah, every night
You do?
I floss.
Do you have wonderful breath? Does you probably get a lot of makeouts? I don't get many makeouts because I don't floss enough.
I got some. I go up to make out hill, and I just like wait for people to come by.
And people come by and they're like, I walked by and I didn't notice your breath. You want to make out?
Yeah, I get some of that. I don't know. I guess I people put their tongue in my mouth every now and again. That's something that I have.
My mother visited this weekend. My
And
dear
she
mom.
criticized your breath.
No, you just reminded me. She told me 2 stories of basically being like kind of assaulted-ish. Like she was talking about, no, not assaulted-ish, assaulted. I just hate talking about that, using that word
With your
about
mother?
my mom.
What?
But she was saying like, she talked about this one time that she was like
She talking
groped
about
on the
Hillary,
street.
Was it Hillary inspired?
Yeah,
Hillary
like
and
Trump. Yeah, Trump inspired. We were talking about that. And then she said to Emily, do you remember the first time you were like something fucked up happened to
Okay.
you? And Emily was like, oh yeah. And then like told a story I'd never heard.
Wow.
And then my mom was like, yep, I was groped on the street. And then she said, and another time I was dating a guy, she was 18, and like she was dating a guy and his father like kissed her and put his fucking tongue in her mouth. And I'm like, first of all, that's my fucking mom,
Yeah.
asshole,
Yeah.
who's probably definitely dead by now.
Yeah.
And second of all, what the fuck?
Wow.
And she said it to Emily like, yeah, I'm sure you like, it's a matter of course that all women have this story. And it is so
Wow.
fucked out
That is really
women have
crazy.
to do. And they live in a world where like men feel owed by their beauty and like entertained by their bodies.
Okay.
It's so fucked up what women
Okay.
have to deal with. This goes back to the 256 colors they see in
Okay, listen.
the 64-bit world.
I will grant you that. But you also got hit in the face with a tire iron.
Yep. I never saw it. It was metal, probably a pipe.
Regardless, you got hit in the face with some metal thing.
Oh, it could have been
I
a bat.
I
It might
got
have been a
choked
bat.
out on the subway by some dude I've never met before.
Yeah.
He just walked up to me and choked me.
Jesus.
Now, don't get me wrong. I feel our sister's pain.
Yeah.
Are there just fucked up people out there and everyone is sort of fucked up?
There are
like
fucked up people
everyone
out there.
gets
Oh, I see. And you're
has
saying
weird
like,
things happen to them.
yeah, on the sexual level, I can't even imagine someone just like finger banging me without me knowing what's happening
No,
at
that
first.
sounds terrible.
But yeah, but senseless violence is its own hideousness.
Or
too.
like the dominance, like there are just people who want to dominate you. Like
Yeah, or are so
male or
screwed up by
female.
their fathers.
And women are dominated in certain ways and men are dominated in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we're dominated is we're hit in the face with shit and had-
choked.
and choked.
Yeah.
And the way they're dominated is that
In this like horrible
men do horrible
sexual
sexual
way.
things to
Oh
them.
my God. So humans who've done these horrible things to
Men.
other people, all men,
All men.
what the fuck is wrong with
Men
you?
just men need to be exterminated.
Honestly.
I do think though, like there is an element, and we've talked about this on the show before, that the problem is men. The problem is
Oh,
men.
the problem is men.
It
And the problem is men in
all
their 40s.
Men.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's all men in their 40s.
The one in their 20s who act this way
all
were
of
made
these
to act this way by
problems-
men in their 40s.
All of these problems in our world that we're facing, that everyone's complaining about,
Men.
they're all driven by men.
Yeah.
And
We all need to
somehow
be
we can't have that
lobotomized.
conversation.
I know. Yeah. How can we neutralize men?
You know, I like to think that we're the good ones. I don't want to neutralize myself.
Sure.
I don't
And
want to
that's-
neutralize white people. You know, like I'm
we are the problem.
okay with being white, but there's white men are overwhelmingly the people who cause the most destruction in this society.
I'm going to bring it back to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest if I
Okay.
could. You know, we've had great runs, you and I. We've had a great run. And
Just you and I, or us as a
others,
species.
But no, you and I in particular. I
Okay.
mean, I'll just speak for myself. I've had I'm very grateful.
I haven't run in so long. I've been
Oh, I
so
haven't had a run in a
lazy.
long time.
God, I would love to
But
run.
if we lived in a world, Jeff, where at 44,
in a world at 44,
where men of a certain colonizing demographic were
or
shock treatmented
shock treatmented
into
into
a kind of happy oblivion,
a kind of happy oblivion.
would that be the worst thing in the world?
Would that be the worst thing in the world?
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's guest, David Caruso.
I feel
real good.
Wait, is that the theme song to Reno 911 Miami or whatever the fuck that show is?
I was doing a trailer for this movie that you were pitching. If we were to be shock treatmented into...
So, like, if we just all had to line up, like, the colonizing for it, like, to repent.
Mm-hmm.
So us, like, white men when they hit 44...
Yeah.
were to be just sort of neutralized medically, and so then we just like sensations and board
terrible.
games.
I'm not a self-loathing person.
No, neither am I. But we're clearly the problem, and there's going to be some chaff with the wheat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or some wheat with the chaff,
I don't
and so
like
therefore, the world would get really peaceful.
I don't think, but it's like the people who are choking people out and grabbing people by the pussy or whatever. Like, that's not a 44-year-old Donald Trump. That's like it was a 60-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. So Donald Trump would long since have been just put out to pasture.
But I think there are plenty of like college rapists. Like,
there are.
I think
That's
men
true.
in
Like,
general
what's
are
his
just
name?
weasels. We're just weasels, man.
What's
Wait, Barack
weasels?
Obama?
Brock Holt Obama.
Oh,
What's
I
his
don't know
name?
that person.
Brock Holt. I can't remember his name. Anyway, yeah.
I don't know. I think
What's the solution? This is where it gets hairy, Jeff. Like, what is the solution
what is the solution?
to the world's pain?
I mean,
Floss in the shower.
I know the eventual solution to it, which I think is
Nature retakes us.
no. I think it's about removing the stigma of having emotion, like from whatever weird Puritan shit we've got going on, like in our history. We just need to remove that from our concept of life.
Right. And so then we can truly understand what we're
I
grappling
think
with.
repression is
Repression.
really what fucking is at the base of all of it. It's everyone, like every law, anti-gay, anti-whatever law, like is created by repressed people.
Right.
Who, like, there's this American ideal of like you have to be repressed in order to, get through the day or whatever. Like all that shit. Just fucking honesty. Honesty is the answer.
Yeah.
Truth is the
with
answer.
the self. So there's a wolf at the door that is driving your behavior. And you know what, you guys? Let it in.
Let it in. Let it in. But you know what? Let me caveat that. If the wolf has been created by your years of repression and there's some deep, dark shit going on in that wolf's head, don't let that wolf in. Find the nice wolf who wants to
This is starting to come apart.
help you be your better self. The kind wolf. Who
in the famous story.
Yes, exactly. We remember Little Red Riding Hood letting the kind wolf in.
Oh, right. Who she adopted as would she be her new grandmother?
Well, and then he helped her like realize that, it was okay to have a menstrual cycle, and that this is the version that you read as well, right?
Yeah. It was all about menses.
Yeah.
Jeff, wolves used to be fucking horrible in the Europe. Like, you'd be walking down the street, and then 10 seconds later, your neck was removed by a fucking wolf that was waiting for you.
What?
This is why wolves are so scary.
Really?
Like, yeah, wolves
at the door?
terrorized the people.
Huh.
Like tigers in Malaysia.
They were like rampant wolves?
Yeah.
In what parts in where?
I don't know, Europe.
Like Transylvania?
Yeah, sure. And then like you'd be walking down the street and they'd wait for you on roofs. And the thing is, a wolf would drop down on you, pin you to the ground, take its giant jaw and remove your fucking throat.
Jesus. So the wolf is the urban mountain lion.
Yeah, it is. Like, people were terrified of wolves because wolves were terrifying.
Wow. And then what? How did they get rid of them?
I think they killed them all.
Really? Huh. How about that?
Yep.
Well, I guess somehow everything comes full circle.
That's see how we tied all that together?
I think we got everything's back. Brendan, let me tell you this. At the end of the night, I'm going to be so sad to see you go.
Oh, thank
you.
you.
A year moves quickly. You're going to have some adventures.
I will.
I would to do my best to come out there.
Really?
If for nothing else than for the sake of dad jeans.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if I'll bring my family. I may just come out by myself to record an episode of Dad Jeans.
That would be the
and to
greatest thing
see
that ever happened.
Fucking Malaysia, because that
Come
would
to
be
Malaysia.
amazing. And I haven't gotten out of this country in, God, years.
What
years.
better occasion? Maybe we could meet in Tokyo or Bangkok.
I got to bring my family for that action.
One night.
Oh, one night. Yeah, just like chess.
One night in
Yeah.
Bangkok. That's
Yeah.
all
I'll
I
bring
ask,
my
Jeff.
chessboard. Okay, that's all we got. Call us 323-484-4383.
Or dad,
Dad, I ugh, dude. Ugh. I don't know. It's almost Halloween.
It's almost Halloween. What are your kids going to be? Oscar's going to be either a yellow horse, a tiger, or Belle, the princess from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, those are fun. Hazel, this is the first year that Hazel has had no creativity. It's been sapped from her by her
That was early.
classmates.
Public school, my friend.
I know. So she wants to be the woman from Frozen.
Yeah.
Exactly. And she has a Disney approved Frozen dress that has been passed
for
down
fuck's sake.
to her from her cousin, and so she's
Oscar
just
knows who those
gonna
people
wear
are,
that
and he's
shit.
like, Elsa. And I'm like, how do you know?
Elsa,
You've
that's
never
the
seen
one.
the movie.
Wow.
You never even seen a moving picture.
I love that.
And he knows
movie,
who
I'll be
Elsa
honest.
is.
I'll be honest, I love it.
Really?
I'm a big fan.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that. I have a screener sitting around.
And then Eli's going to be Bob the Builder. Do you know Bob the Builder?
Oh, sure.
And
That's really
his outfit is going to be adorable. We're hand making that one.
That's pretty great.
Okay, what about Oscar? What's he going to be?
Belle
Tell
from
me
Beauty
again.
and the Beast. He wants to be either a princess or a horse that is yellow.
Yeah.
Or a tiger.
Okay, and you're just going to decide the night of?
Tomorrow we had a production meeting tonight over dinner, and he understands that tomorrow is when he has to make his final decision, so he's sleeping on it.
And you will definitely be here on Halloween. Mm-hmm. Okay.
We will leave probably between November. Smart Money's on like November 17th, although the semester will have started, so we could leave as early as November 12th.
Okay, but you'll be around for at least one more episode of
At least
Dad
one more
Jeans
episode.
on the
And I
Side.
won't have a job. We could have Dad Jeans at 10 in the morning in a playground with beers.
Amazing. I love it. Well, we had a discussion about doing special on the tens episodes about movies or about music. Like,
right.
I really wanted to just like.
Oh,
have
isn't this the 80th one we're talking right now?
It is the 80th one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we missed that, but we could do 81. I was like, I want to
What
be
are
like
multiples of 9?
What movies have influenced you in your life? Like, we could like get into those kinds of
Miller's
situations.
Crossing.
I would love to have conversations.
Dr.
about that
Strangelove.
stuff. Okay, not right now.
The
because
Exorcist.
It's the end of the night, and I have to pee and go to bed.
Oh, okay.
So let's just say goodnight to everyone.
Triplets of Belleville.
It's a great movie.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Can I go pee before we do that?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, this beer. Heavy.
It is heavy. I did not check the alcohol content.
What is it?
Oh, I should check now. The guy like gave me the sale, and I was like, "Get off my back! I'll just buy it. Get away from me." You know what I mean? Like I walked in, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? Can I help you? Have you tried the Lagunitas?" And I'm like, oh, "Fine." I'll just take whatever the first thing you suggested was so I can end this transaction as quickly as possible. I'm sorry that's the case. I want to be the person who's like nice to people or whatever, but I think I've had too many interactions in my life. I've had, once you have a certain amount, I used to be a really nice person. And then, and I was like, who's this new person I'm going to meet? And now I'm like, ugh, who's this new person I'm going to meet? And they're delightful people in the world I've yet to meet. And I don't feel like meeting them. I'm not interested. I don't want to meet them. So I have that to face. Lagunitas. There's a pronunciation guide on this 6-pack. I cannot find the alcohol content by volume anywhere on this thing. Trying one of our other beers. Homicidally hoppy. You are the problem. All these hops are the problem, Lagunitas. Salespeople. I can't. I just don't think I can work retail, especially not hipster retail. Hey, so have you been here before? Do you know how it works? You pick a beer, bring it to the register. I'll ring you up, and you'll be on your way. Great, thank you. Have you tried Lagunitas? I mean, I get. Okay, fine. I'm not putting that much stock into the flavor that will be in my mouth when these bottles are brought to my lips. I mean, I don't want it to be awful, but then there's a range of fine, and that range is massive. And then there's Bishop's Finger Kentish Ale. But they stopped importing that in 1995, Mr. Mustache. So what now? Show me some Bishop's Finger, and I'll show you some enthusiasm. I've been vamping this whole time.
Good for you.
I don't know where it came from. I started talking about the salesman who sold me on this Lagunitas. And, you walk into these hipster joints, and they're like, hey,
have you tried this?
Yeah, we just got this in.
They all talk like radio announcers.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking the other day. Was that you and me that were talking about who's that fucking guy from American Idol? Was that you and
Ryan
I having
Seacrest
this conversation?
when we had lunch.
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest. That this guy's got a show in Los Angeles.
Yeah, on the radio in
It's
the
like
morning.
the most popular radio show in America. I've never heard it.
Nope.
Not once.
Me neither.
Not a single time since having moved
But
here.
that guy, he finishes American Idol, goes home to his 1-bedroom apartment in Van Nuys, wakes up, which he's never had time to move into a fancy house.
No.
Wakes up, goes right to the radio station.
This guy.
And he's like, God, I gotta get out of this apartment. I gotta get out of this like dead end apartment in Van Nuys and go buy a mansion. I can afford it now.
About that.
But he's too busy. He's got 9 jobs. Then he's got to produce the Kardashians.
9 jobs. Okay, let's do Advise Me Bro from Brian L. Perkins.
Advise me, bro.